Hello and welcome to Trucking Answers. It is Monday and we are here as usual, 1 p.m. Thank you everybody for being here. It is good to see everyone today and we are going to get going. I wanted to say first to start it out, well, I'll say this in a minute once I get a few more people right. Today we're going to talk about Roadcheck July 4th to 6th. There was a driver fired while they were texting. Can you believe that? What is going on with that? Oh, wait a minute. He was parked. He was parked while he was texting, got fired, this Max 4 settlement, and so much more, all right? So thank you, everybody, for being here today. It is going good out there. Let's move this over so we can get in. There I am. And we pop this out. All right, what's going on today? How's it going, everybody? Let's see. So first up, Michael Muller was here on Thursday. So thank you for being here on Thursday, waiting for the show. That is incredible. Trucker Hershey first today. Thanks for being here. Cash is King Trucking. Figured you'd be on the road making some money. What's going on? Will Hazard is out there. Wow, Bill, you made it today. That is good. It's a nice day out for you today. You'll have a good day there. Ryan is here. Thanks for being here. Mad Maldy, what's going on out there? Wyland Parker. Oh, hey, what's happening? The mate is here. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. What's going on? Super Trucker 2017. This 2019, what happened? Don't slip back in the ratings. K. Wayne, good to see you. C. Loss, it's nice for you to be here. Steel Horse, hey, what's going on today? Nice Monday. It's beautiful out today. I love it. Captain, all right. Beautiful day in North Dakota. Is it ever a beautiful day in North Dakota? Steven Tyler, hey, you're doing good out there. I hear you on the radio all the time. Marty, what's going on? Don Williams, nice. Larry Blevins is here in Dallas. Oh, what's happening in Dallas? Kim switched the Walmart account. You to the Walmart. Good. From 1 a.m. to 2 p.m. Made $8.10 on Saturday and Sunday. Wow. I'm getting ready to switch to a brand new truck finally, right? And loving the money. All right, so new truck, more money. That turned out to be a really good place. Roger Penske is in a secret alien hiding site south of Albuquerque. Wow. I hope the mafia doesn't find you there. You don't understand the DOT blitz, so they should inspect you if they feel like it. If they don't, all right, I agree. I mean, it should be every day, and everybody should be ready every day for the inspection, really. George Costanza, doing your 34 in Mount Pleasant, Iowa. You were so sick and not good every hour. Finish the load. Yeah, sometimes you got to take a 34-hour break, whether you need one or not. If you're too sick to drive, don't drive, no matter what people say. I mean, you don't want to get into an accident. Yeah, get better out there. Daycab Gear Jammer, hello, thank you for being here. Combat Trucker, and what's going on? Tom, job hunting today. Oh, well, stop for the show. I appreciate it. Maybe you could put a question out here and people will have some kind of answer for you today. Out of the rain and into the heat in South Carolina for Kenneth, headed down to Florida, 93. It's only 66 degrees here today. Brian, hello, what's happening? Chad is out there. Jeff Roberts, free burritos. Where's the burrito happening? Or are you passing them out to everybody? King Sosa took the week off. You know, they said that rates and stuff go up. I was reading about that this week because owner-operators take the week off. I'm really surprised about that. But thanks for being here. But I did read about that. Trucker Dave, 34 in Youngstown, 34 Celsius maybe. Is it really that cold today? James Edwards, it's a nice day in Pennsylvania. That's good to see. Jeff, have plenty of time to watch. Been at the dock waiting for 4 hours. That isn't any good. I mean, that's the kind of thing that's got to be solved. What's for lunch? Apparently free burritos are for lunch from what I'm seeing. John, at home on your reset. Oh, good. Thanks for the information. I appreciate you saying that. And thanks for being here. Dave Winfield, good day to you too, sir. Super Truckers in Dallas, but it's 2000. You got to change that to 2019. How about the shades? Yeah, man, those are really nice. I love them, right? Light Bright, thanks for being here. Bless you and everyone out there. Cash is King, you pulled off to take a 30-minute break. A huge backup on 65 south of Birmingham. Truck crossed the median and hit an SUV and rolled over. That's no good. That's horrible. So I guess it might as well take a 30 for a break since you're sitting there. Of course, you're taking a legal break, naturally, right? You appreciate the show, David. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Comfortable, man. Trucker fired for texting while parked. Yeah, this guy, and this is kind of ironic. He worked for Nestle, and his name is Kraft. All right, so maybe they fired him for that. I just found that ironic. So they sent him a text message. Doesn't Nestle have in-cab communication? Anyhow, they sent him this text message, and he pulls over to send a message back, and but it didn't go through. Because, sometimes you send it takes a while to go through. And he heard like a few minutes later it went through because there wasn't a good signal. He's on Boost, which is part of Sprint. Anyhow, they looked it up and said, oh, you were driving when you texted that message, so you're fired. That's incredible, right? So he took it to the media. Nothing happened until he took it to the media. Now that it's out in the media, Nestle's offered him his job back and said, oh, wait a minute. And back pay. But he already got another job at Black Horse Carriers is what he said. If they don't want you texting, they shouldn't send you a text. I got to believe a place like Nestle has Qualcomm or something in the truck. I mean, come on. This guy's been driving for 30 years, too. So, the problem, he should have probably taken his job back because then it's easier to sue him, really. But this is kind of crazy. He said that they were gunning for him anyway, trying to get rid of him or whatever because he reported some kind of safety violation there, and the higher-ups didn't like it. That would have to be true because there's no way they could check everybody's text message to relate it back to when your truck is driving. Somebody would have to actually check that. Just crazy. He pulled over, but because the Boost didn't go through right away, and the reporter verified this, they went to the same spot. It took their message 9 minutes to go through. He got fired for it. Now, he's not going to sue him, I guess, because he got this other job, but that's just crazy. If they don't want you to do that, they shouldn't send you these messages. Keto, walk, get fed. Hey, what's going on? Darnell Rhodes is in Knoxville. All right. Day Cab Gear Jammers here. Michael Muller, right. I mentioned earlier that you were on Thursday. Thank you very much for that. They would catch more drivers to take care of their trucks year-round. Yeah, well, they announce it so they can't say that they're springing it on everybody. And the ironic thing is, I read this, 22% of trucks last year were put out of service anyway, even though they announce it on these road checks. So what the heck? Trucker Dave, reset, not temp. Oh, okay, I was going to say, all right, 34, got it. What am I thinking about? Right, I was going to say, man, it's really cold over there. Fatty 2x4, one of the best names on YouTube. What's going on? The government doesn't do good at everything, and they couldn't do stuff on a cow. We'll leave it at that. Hey, Andrew from Quakertown, Pennsylvania, looking at Averett here. Tom at PTI and HL Wolding. Good, we'll get some opinions on that going here. You're waiting to unload to be loaded in Kansas City, the Asphalt Cowboy. Depends how long you're there and what you're going to get paid, right? Kim, right, you get 65 cents on weekdays at 70 cents on the weekends. That is really good for all loads. Multi-stop, yeah, Walmart's. 30 to 45 minutes and 2 loads a day, 230 miles a load. That is really, really good. What do you need at the place to get on there? You just got to be lucky, right place at the right time. What do you have to do to get on there and then get on at Walmart? I'm no doctor, but can you drive with a thyroid medication? I don't know. Maybe somebody else knows. Before you waste your time, I'm not sure about that. Voice to text. Well, the problem wasn't that it was voice to text. The problem was the time that it sent the message was different. Was showing driving because even though it sent when he was parked, which they later verified, that it didn't actually send until he was driving. So it wouldn't have mattered if he voice to text. It didn't send because he didn't have a good signal. CBD oil, here we go with that again. My opinion is no way. I'm not chancing it. He should sue him. He should, but he would have to take his job back to do that. I think that's how that works, right? He didn't. He refused to go back to them. So, that's a real problem. I still think he should talk to a lawyer about it. It's just crazy. Steel Horse, I totally agree. Not worth risking the career. If you get a bad batch or whatever the stuff is, if you get a positive drug test, good luck getting a job somewhere. Qualcomm doesn't allow you to reply to your stop. Oh, that's right, too, right. Mine's off. Unless you have a student on the truck, then you can read because there's 2 people, right. And that would have solved that. But, maybe he's right that they sent him this text message just to get him to reply, and then they're following it to see if the truck's moving. Is the building in the background of some of the videos your company shop? No. No, it is not. You need a driving job? All right, well, there's plenty of them out there. Nestle is good for being ignorant. I've dealt with them for stupid things in Utah. I would bet he didn't wait for the Qualcomm in sleeper or off duty before he responded. Well, yeah, look, they texted him on his phone. That's the problem. And so he sent it, but then it took a while for Boost, apparently, to send the signal out. And so that was the real problem. K. Wayne, right. Somebody always asked that. Somebody else missed it today that normally does. So I don't ever say where I work, and that keeps my company out of my videos. So you don't ever see them in the videos. Then they're out. They're out of it. And that way, I also don't recruit for them. My gosh, how many people recruit for their company out here? They're only out to get recruiting money. It's crazy. So that keeps them out of my videos, and I get to say whatever I want. So that's how that goes. Mr. Skeptical, I haven't seen you for a while. How's it going? And Steel Horse, exactly. 4X Farva. Yeah, we can absolutely help. Thank you very much for that. And to put out what's going on, and there's plenty of people here that can help you today. A union trucking job or owner-operator signed at, well, I mean, for me, right, General Ruthless, look, I'm a company driver, have been, and so that's where I'm at on that. There are owner-operators that watch the show and stuff, but I'm in for the company driver. So in those two, I mean, and a union trucking job, full benefits, no risk, that's for me. But I'm not saying owner-operator is bad or good. I'm saying from my point of view, I would take the union trucking job on those two. Even though over the road is capacity, Walmart can't get enough drivers because it's out 3 weeks. Oh, and then you get 7 days off. I won't take 7 off. That cost, not to mention night. But some people like the night driving. But how do you get on there? How do you get on to Walmart if you're already at the place? Saw the Schneider video. Your first driving job, it's still paying for the CPAP. I thought this was across the board thing. No, not really. Depends on the company. And, Schneider kind of says that they pay for it. But I'm getting people to say, hey, no, they don't pay for it. You have to pay for it. So a number of people sent me their little Schneider training video on it. How do you sleep with that stupid thing on your face? I don't get it. The thing that they showed in their video, the CPAP machine, it like wraps on your face. It looked like the thing from Alien. The face wrapper thing. I mean, that's kind of what it looked like to me. I don't know how it would be sleeping with that. I maybe get used to it. My wife's like, oh, you probably get used to it. I don't know. Seems like, how do you sleep at a sleep study with that? Brian J. Buckeye, thanks for looking into companies. I appreciate you saying that, relaying the information. I just want to get that out there for people. Thank you very much. CBD seller said hemp bud does have minute amounts of THC. That's not worth it. You're going to lose your job, and you're never going to get another job. Well, Bill, it was early to ask. It was kind of early in the show to it, so you just never know. You're in Georgia? All right. Comfortable man. Walmart problem is driver-facing cameras. That's one of... Well, they don't have them in all their trucks, according to them. They have this forward-facing camera. And Kim here is not drive directly for Walmart. So where are you answering my question? Right. I was abused dog, backed into a corner, about to give up trucking. Don't give up trucking until you found reviews of Newsbomb. Once solidified your decision... watch the video. Well, thank you. And are you there? And what do you think about it? What do you think? Steel Horse, this is exactly correct. So you're going to trust this, and then you're going to risk your career, basically. It's going to be 10 years, maybe, before you get a job, if you get a positive on it. Even companies that are second chance companies are going to have a tough time hiring you. 67 in Pennsylvania, Brandon says. All right, that's a little bit better than here. It's actually a very nice day out today. In Georgia, for more home time, try G&P. Yeah, G&P would be a good place in the southeast, right, out of Columbia. If you're looking at over the road, it depends on your experience. Yeah, G&P is great in the southeast. GT40, having surgery tomorrow because you're rear-ended by a semi. Yikes, you already missed your local job. Holy mackerel, what is going on? Are you going to be all right? What happened to you? And what company was it? Holy mackerel. John says they pay for the test, but you have to pay for the device. Oh, that's kind of what I thought, where I was reading that they sold used ones, which I thought, who's going to buy a used one of these? But maybe you don't have $1,000. Will they take it out of your pay or whatever? I mean, the one that they showed in the video, somebody had like a Packers, it was wrapped in Packer stuff. It looked like it was from the Green Bay Packers. And I thought, wow, so they have like licensed CPAP machines, officially licensed products. I didn't understand it. Ben & Jerry's ice cream CBD, Ben & Jerry's would be the one to have that. That's certainly it. GT40 likes the show. Thank you. What is going on with your surgery? Yikes. Didn't mention one of video's night that they don't pay for your room during school, or they might. That would be expensive for 3 weeks. No, Night Swift was a little different in that they would front it, they would pay for it and front you the money for it. And it was a discounted amount. It wasn't a lot. All these things have to be factored in. If you live by there, it's a better deal because there's no contract. So it depends where you live. You just have to factor all that stuff in when you call. You should call tons of places to find out the best way to start. As far qualifications, 1 year, no moving violations. Yeah, but how do you get onto Walmart? You have to have a good record at Smith and sign up from the start. Yeah, so when you're there, what do you just tell them? Look, I want to be on Walmart. Let's get on this. Marty, exactly. Doritos CBD, boy, that would be they put the stuff in the Doritos and you just can't stop eating the Doritos. Weed people try to put weed in anything. It does seem like there's all kinds of products. Every gas station. Look, are you going to trust the gas station for, on your career? You don't use CBD. Wife uses it in place of an opioid, but she may not be driving. Only good thing about fast food work, no drug test. That's true. That's true enough. Nobody in there would be able to work there probably. Comfortable when I drive Walmart dedicated for Smith, right, out of Bedford. Our trucks and trailers are brand new trucks. No cameras, which lane detection, you can't get rid of that garbage anymore. G&P has a terminal in Atlanta. Yeah, Southeast. They're a Southeast-based company. Unfinished mystery, Ruan, based in Des Moines. Ruan does a lot of logistics. I know because I know a driver that works at Ruan in Fair Oaks, Indiana. He hauls milk for them. So they do that milk account up there out of Fair Oaks Farms, which actually pays pretty good. But that's what they do there. But that's not Ruan. He makes $232 a day or something like that for hauling milk for 10 hours a day. And but Ruan at each city does a different thing. In Indianapolis, they have other kind of Ruan things. It's a logistics. So it's Ruan. You have to call them from where you are and see what they're doing near you. Christopher vapes CBD. You're in the military and you have never gotten a bad drug test. All I'm saying is it's a risk. First one and no drive. CBD prunes keep you regular physically and mentally. Oh, I wonder how they could do that. Right. Did I get your response for CPAP? If I saw it up here, how come you left out the breakdown and layover? It's Schuster. I didn't see it. A lot of the stuff, because of the stuff that happened earlier, right, I have to find things that are public. I'm making, finding, searching. No one is talking about it. They wouldn't talk about it. I did pin your comment so people could see it. You've been a driver trainer with Werner for 15 years. Wow. Do they let you team at Werner training people? You got your CB is dead, CBD, but the CB is dead. There's more talk about CBD than there is about a CB. Your CPAP came from a health supply company. Schneider deducts $15 a week for 2 years. So it's $1,500, but that's probably a new one. I saw that they had used ones for in the $400 range. Although, I don't know, where do they get the used ones? They fire somebody and you turn it in? I mean, do they repossess the thing? If you haven't paid for it, they come in your truck at night and grab it off your face? Keep in mind at G&P, you can't take your truck home. That was policy last April. All right. I never really asked anybody about that. No one asks really that much about taking their truck home. I got your CPAP from Schneider. If you're still your probation period, you have to pay for the machine. It was under the insurance, so they paid for it. So that is the case. So that's kind of what people were saying. Schneider's like, no, we pay for it, but if you don't have the insurance, you pay for it. And then they cover the cost of the stuff for it. Spine surgery replaced by disc hit by Bridgestone Tire Company. It should have been Michelin, and they're all padded. I've seen that Michelin, man. I hope that goes good. How long are you going to be out for that? Friend of yours failed a drug test because he had a bunch of poppy seed products. They did that on Mythbusters. Did you see that? They tested poppy seed bagels, and they did get positives on their drug screen. Yeah, really something. I was surprised about that, but they did. You can eat enough poppy seed bagels to get a positive. Yeah, right. You're not driving Walmart, you drive for Smith. That's exactly right. It seems like Walmart, the best way to drive for Walmart is to drive for somebody else that drives for Walmart. You driving for them now for 3 weeks, Matt. Due to my prior comps, I've only done 3 days of OTR in 3 years. So it's a learning curve to get used to. Better paying home time and equipment than Pam. Well, exactly. Most places are better than Pam or Driver Solutions. I mean, Smith has the contract to run Walmart loads. Right. The best way to work at Walmart is to work somewhere else that works at Walmart. Millis is a good Southeast regional. Everyone needs their 40s. Yeah, Millis, they've been kind of aggravating me that they don't give you the vacation, all that. You must take their per diem to get the vacation and all that stuff that they advertise. If you want to take a regular pay there, You don't get all the vacation, all that other good stuff. I mean, come on. 230 for 10 hours is a milk run. Yeah, considered it's a drop and hook. People say, well, that's $23 an hour. It's not super great. Look, it's a drop and hook that he does at the milk run for Ruan at Fair Oaks. They just go down, drop the milk, bring an empty back, and they're done. So pretty simple. What's the update on the hours of service announcement? It's still coming June 7th. There's been no change in the date. And I'll be live on June 7th if they do it when I'm available, which should be during the day, certainly. So I'll go live as soon as I hear about it that day, unless they change the date. But right now, as of right now, they have not changed the date past June 7th. Your company is getting international 10-speed manuals, and you're going to miss your 2015 Mac. Yeah, you're going to miss it a lot. Internationals, I never liked them, really. I've seen some of these new LT Internationals that look better on the outside, and maybe they've changed the inside of the truck. Oh, and International's in the news, too. Their Max Force engines from 2011 to 2014, everybody remembers those engines on how great they were. They're settling. $159 million they're going to pay out to people that bought those lousy engines. That should be more than that. We had a couple. They're horrible. Your doctor said mouthpiece, its alternative costs $100, but they don't want to tell you. Why? Oh, I still think that somehow Schneider's making money on this CPAP deal. I haven't been able to find it out, but I absolutely think that they are making money on the backside of that deal. You saw a fuel truck getting fuel the other day. I always thought, do these trucks ever need to stop? Charles Abney, what's going on? Thanks for being here. Swift pays you the trainee's mile while you're training. Yes. Do not drive for advanced drainage systems. ADS, that sounds like it's yeah, I can't think of a good joke at the moment for that. CPAP cheese pressurized all cheddar. Yikes. I mean, the used? Look, I get it. You may not have any money, but oh my gosh. That's kind of gross. Maybe Schneider buys them on eBay. Yeah, I don't understand. There's got to be a thing. Schneider's pushing these tests. I don't know if there's any proof to it. I certainly can't find any information, but why do they sell you the machine too? They always try to sell you the machine and everything else. Comfortable man, Swift training is a joke. I think training at each company probably can be good or bad depending on the driver trainer that you get. I mean, that's what makes the training or not, really. Not the company, nothing. It's the person that you get that's going to train you. That's the whole key to everything. There's probably good and bad trainers in all companies. You're going to finally turn 18. Wow. And you're going to run under your dad at one of his truck interstate. Can we get in trouble? You can't run interstate if you're 18. Can he get in trouble? Yeah, you're driving without a license. So you say but you're saying I drive in one of his truck in-state. Yeah, you're going to, look, you need to get a CDL, and you can run the truck in-state, no problem. But you can't cross the state line. Not yet. You still need a CDL. Wish I could get my old run with Pam. 3,072 miles. That's unusual with 5 nights spent at home. That's a lot of miles a day, going from Lockport to Wentzville, Missouri. But got hosed at 25 cents a mile. Yes. Holy mackerel. How are you 5 nights at home going to Missouri every day? That is a long day. And plus, how many hours a day is that? Let's look at that. So that's a good example of a local run, maybe. But how many hours? That's a 14-hour day, probably 13-hour day. Is there a point to that locally being that many hours? They say you need a CPAP, but you've lost 119 pounds. That's very impressive. But I'm not sure you need it anymore. Yeah, look, why don't you get retested and say, look, I don't need this anymore. I lost all this weight. That's what they always tell you to do. You go do it, and then they're going to try to hose you with the thing. Yesterday evening, Dave Johnson got passed coming to Erie by an owner-operator. Your VORAD equipped clocked him at 88. That low must have been paid good. Yeah, I bet he must have been getting $3 a mile or something. Then he doesn't mind that. By the way, I've seen 109 on mine. What does everybody think about that? Has anybody seen faster? And that was in a car. Ironically, on 465 in Indianapolis, where the speed limit is 55. So I've seen 109 on mine for cars. Yeah, everyone has Walmart contracts. That's correct, at credit, and it just depends. So you got to find out who pays better. I mean, Pam isn't paying any 70 cents on a Walmart contract, certainly. Pam, a penny a mile, if you're lucky. Blue Lion, the topic. Well, there's several things going. We got this driver that was fired for texting on his cell phone while he was parked. Is that crazy? He gets a text, parked, sends it. It doesn't go through for a few minutes. Then they get it, and go, oh, you were driving then, because they got it when the truck had already been moving, but he was actually stopped, fired him. He took it to the media. They rehired him, and he said, forget it, I don't want to work here anymore. If they don't want you texting, they shouldn't text you. Swift is 200 hours until you test out. Most places have the requirement except for Prime. Prime just raised their requirements for students. Walmart equals China. Who wants to work for them and enrich China? Well, you're also enriching yourself. I think we beat out Schneider for the contract. They used to run at the DC. Well, that's good and bad, remember, because at some point you could get booted out of that too. Just like those Penske drivers did in Fort Wayne a couple weeks ago. They were on that automotive contract and got booted out by who? Pam. Pam took them, and so these 80 drivers are out of work. So you just never know when you'll get booted out of something like that. You're still at Smith. I'm just saying that you could get booted out. It's called the Kraft Force. That would still be too nice of a name. What is not made in China? Need to take another sleep study? Yeah, just go take another one and then it'll show you don't need that thing. Prime forces a sleep study on every driver. Does Prime, Dean the Kid, does Prime force the study on every new driver at Prime, and do they pay for it? Do they pay for the machines? How does that work? You've heard the internationals are underpowered and have poor steering. Those Max Forces were horrible. Marty says drive for orange. Scott, have I noticed how many Amazon trailers are on the road? Yeah, they're all over the place, but I'm close to an Amazon warehouse, so I constantly see them. I'm at 30 miles from a gigantic warehouse here, so... Lisa, who's the best to start with? Well, let's see what people say about that. Schneider owns a company that monitors and maintains the CPAP devices. One thing we'll have to know, Lisa, is where you live, certainly. You know, we need to know like a stuff like that, where you live. What do you want to do with trucking, that kind of stuff. Should be getting a newer International LT with a Cummins engine tomorrow if all goes well. Oh, good. Let me know how it is inside. If that doesn't work out, you'll be next week. Did they change them inside? I mean, you may not know the old ones, but holy mackerel, they were horrible. I didn't like the way they were set up. They had little tiny switches and stuff. The radio was really low, set low in the dashboard, and they put switches up in the dashboard like the fifth wheel slider, like you can use that switch every 10 minutes. Anybody know about Quality Cares? They're buying out the company you drive for. Oh, that's pretty interesting. Melissa's let you take a longer vacation, no paid time off. Right, that's not a vacation. It's not paying you. Not a big deal to me as long as you budget. Well, I shouldn't have to budget for a vacation from a company. A company should pay me for my vacation. And where they give all that vacation money, as long as you're taking the per diem. They have two pay systems at Millis. If you don't take the per diem pay, you don't get all that vacation time. And come on. So they're basically forcing you into it, and I'm not a fan of that. Schneider probably gets money from the government or FMCSA. Yeah, there's got to be some kind of kickback that they're getting. When you went to school for a CDL, your choice was Pam or Swift, says man. I had no idea who Pam was exactly. And I've heard all the bad rep Swift, so you chose the better of two devils. Well, right, because you didn't know. And I've always wondered, now doing this, how do I get to people before they go to Driver Solutions, before they get to the companies? And that's really, it's just, I just can't figure out how to get to people before they go there. I mean, how did you hear about these companies, Matt? Did they come to the truck school? Is that how you heard about them? Or did you see ads for them? What happened? Who is quality buying? Getting a good trainer is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Right, candy, exactly. You can be at a company that's terrible, but have a great trainer. You might not be making as much, but you might have gotten the great training that you need. And you just don't know that until you get in the truck with them. I mean, there's no way to know that in advance. Kim, try to get a 2020 Pete 579. Wow. Do they have those new ones over there yet? Glad I could make it for the live stream. Loading in Salt Lake, heading to Oklahoma. Oh, Ryan. All right. That's not a bad deal. And then home time. That's great. I agree with you for the most part. When the student is driving the trainer in the bunk sleeping, very bad. I agree. Companies that allow that, I don't like that. How do you train someone if you aren't up training them? And we had a Werner trainer on here. Maybe you could answer that for us if they do that at Werner. If you look hard enough, there's more intrastate jobs than interstate. Well, the interstate has more turnover, certainly. But yeah, exactly. Hey, James Faust, what's going on? It's good to see you today. Gail Smith, seen plenty of broke-down owner-operator trucks running those Amazon trailers. Oh, my gosh. Black smoke and bald tires show how little they care as long as you accept $1 a mile. Yeah, look, they just put it on the board, right? If you've got authority, they'll seem to let anybody pull the trailers. You did 162 on a bike once. Wow, that's really something. Not in front of my radar you didn't, but that's pretty fast. Okay, John clocked a motorcycle at 132. That's way faster than I've seen. As far as Millis is concerned, you never worked there. If you need 3 years of work history, right, you had a work history problem there. But they say they'll take students, and obviously they don't need your help. They do have a weird policy, too, on this work history. If you haven't worked, they basically won't take you. You have to be working for them to take you. They have a weird way to do it. I don't like it. As long as you can prove where you were, if you weren't working, what is the difference? That's why you need a job. You're out of work. Thoughts on China tariffs? Yeah, people should buy American. So because the government, enforces, regulates stuff over there and lowers the prices, you can't compete with that. So to bring the price up to what it should be in America, right, those people should be making the stuff here to start with. I always buy cars made in the United States at a union plant for just that kind of very reason. I do not shop at Walmart. I haven't been in one in years. And if there's a product, and you can ask the wife, I do this all the time, when I'm looking for something, and then we'll look along the shelves. If I can find one that's made in the United States, I buy that one, even if it costs more. And that's the problem. People want the cheapest stuff, but they want all the jobs. If there's no job here, nobody's going to have a job to do anything. Is it a good time to go owner-operator? Let's say for FedEx. Well, not for me, Dean the Kid. I'm a company driver, and so I don't, I'm just not an owner-operator. There are people, and people even here watching, that are owner-operators that do well at it. But for the risk in that, it isn't for me. And unless you really own the truck, I've only had 2 people now write to me that lease. And this is almost 2 years in now, that are doing better, really where I could say they actually make more than a company driver. I just had the second person a few weeks ago. And most owner-operators, if you own the truck, you can do better, but you're giving up a lot of benefits and taking a lot of risk. Law is miserable at Prime. Why are you miserable at Prime? What is the problem? Spent 10 hours from Indianapolis to Lockport. Stay the night, pick up the next morning, go home to Indy, sleep, wake, head 5 hours to Wentzville, and back to Indy the same day. Man. So that's a long day. Well, that's not really local. See, I don't consider that local. Spent the night, okay, next morning and then home. Right. And that isn't a local job. Local job is home every day. At Smith, when you call safety, you pull the truck up to see if you're driving. If you do the hang up, you only talk if you do not on sleeper or off duty. Amazon ships their stuff in the trains. Yeah, they probably take these, you would know, right? But so these owner-operators have to pull into the rail yards. You get to see all them. JB Hunt has the rails unlocked. They're big into it. They have their own pool of trailers and everything. Schneider at Phoenix is great. Even these large companies that are bad or good, even ones that we think are horrible, they have pockets of a good place. And Schneider and Phoenix may be great over there. I've heard that, from several people have written to me that I'm following around a driver out there right now that works out of the Phoenix area doing really good at Schneider. You don't care about Walmart or China. All I care about is making your own money. You made $810 in 2 days. That's really good. That's 2 weeks pay for England drivers. That's exactly correct. Right. That's 2 weeks pay for the trainer. For that run, I only had to drive on surface streets for approximately 15 miles. Well, that's all. That's good. Prime goes your BMI number and neck size. So, okay, so what do you know what the numbers might be on the BMI or neck size of Prime? Usually they're going 17-inch neck size. What are their BMI? 50? The sleep study criteria is crazy. Not everyone is forced, but you weighed 160. The doctor couldn't see back of your throat and he had to do it. Really? Cost you $600. But that was 2016. Now they are paying it. As soon as they won't pay it, I would say I'm out. If they want you at 160, you need a sleep study. Did you fail it or pass it? Oh my gosh, the new LT reconfigured drastically. It looks like it is. Yes. We'll get the top packages for them leather seats. Smith always does upgrade their trucks, which is nice. Leather wrapped fridge and everything is nice. Mid-roof, but that's all you need for one person. I'm excited for the first time you love your job and make great money. Yeah, sometimes it takes a while, right, to find a place. My trainer went to sleep right away. I don't agree with that. When you pulled into a truck stop, he asked why I didn't tell him you're pulling over. Huh. See, that isn't a trainer. That person shouldn't even be called a trainer. That person should be up while you're driving. And the company should have a policy that they're up while you're driving. You detest all PACCAR products. I'm not a fan either, okay? 10 months at Schugel running KWs and Werner running the Pete's were horrid. I had a 379 many years ago, and you could reach over and touch the passenger window in it, okay? And I could crank that window down with crank windows. I thought, this isn't great. I don't know why people like this. You lost your 9-to-5 job and your lifeline panicking. You joked to your wife your truck was passing us, saying, I could just be a truck driver. Yes. She signed you up. She goes, all right, here you go. That's awesome. So she signed you up for Driver Solutions. How did she find out about them? Probably just on the internet. That's the thing. I can't outspend them on ads. I do run an ad. I'm running a constant ad every day, but I can't outspend these companies. I just can't. Some of them spend hundreds of dollars a day on ads. Can I give a rookie tanker driver some advice on how to control the surge? Yeah, it's just time and being careful. I ran an orange juice tanker for a while, and you get used to it. Really, you will become the smoothest driver that you've ever been in your life. So that is serious, right? It's just, being very careful on your shifting or being, light on the pedal if it's an automatic. At Smith, you get 1.92% of the gross income from the prior year as vacation pay. What a weird amount. Wes, you have 2020 Pete's. Okay, good. And they're handing them out. That's awesome. 1.92% of the gross income from the prior year as vacation pay. I've texted before during an inspection with the Qualcomm. You have to let dispatch know of any holdups. Wait, but if you're doing an inspection, you are stopped. By the way, spam, which is delicious. As far as the safety thing, I haven't had that problem, but I don't call safety. They'll call you. They should always leave you alone if you're not doing anything. The critic. Yeah, thank you very much about the tariffs. People, you want a job here. We want to make more money here. We need to buy things that are made in the United States, even if it costs more. And you can't compete against a country like China that, puts money into the product. So if it costs $4, they sell it for $3, and the company just gets the money from the government. How do you compete with that here? You can't. So the tariffs, I'm in. We've been way too long in not having them. You have a 389 with Smith that never had a problem. The new ones are a little bigger than that goofy tiny truck I had. Every time he had to wake up your train, it was like trying to get somebody to snap out of a coma. Yeah, at England. So that's good. And the disappointing thing about that, Charles, is look how much that person was making sleeping behind you. They are sleeping. They're making probably 10 times what you're making. Saw where FedEx and UPS are merging. Really, that would be something. Turning over your logbook is a violation of Fifth Amendment writing and self-incrimination. Okay, well, look, I'll tell you at an inspection, because we have this June 4th to 6th, this Roadcheck America. This starts tomorrow for steering, suspension, and wipers, which are on the thing. Did you know your windshield wiper fluid has to have fluid in it and it has to work, and your wipers have to work? They do. So they're going to be looking at that. And if you would say to an officer, oh, I'm not going to give you my logbook because it's a violation of my Fifth Amendment rights, I think that might be a problem at the scale. I do think so. That one driver that got arrested in Kentucky, was it, a few months ago, because he wouldn't participate in the inspection. That's right. He was being inspected, and they wanted him to press the brake pedal so they could see the brake lights and that. And he's like, no, you can inspect all you want, but I'm not going to participate. They arrested him. They arrested him for obstruction, and he got convicted. Okay, so I don't know where you want to go with that, but I cooperate at an inspection. It's what I recommend, and I think the inspection goes better. So I guess you could argue Fifth Amendment right if you wanted to get a constitutional lawyer at your own expense, maybe. I don't know. I just give him my logbook or have him plug into the thing now. Tired of seeing drivers make YouTube videos while driving. Oh my gosh, how many drivers do that? How many trainers are doing that? I've seen tons. There's a lot of Prime drivers for some reason that make YouTube videos. One was holding the camera. I saw because he would move it around like this, and he's driving. I'm like, you cannot. That is illegal. You cannot do that. And so they're doing that. That is crazy. And why Prime doesn't get involved in that is amazing. I think if they found out about it, you'd be fired, and should be, because you just can't do that. Prayers going out for the driver lost his life saving his dog in a head-on collision. I didn't see about that. Impatient pickup past the semi. Oh, that's horrible. And then he loses his life for his dog. That's terrible. Why would anyone submit to a sleep study? You never had one. There's companies that don't require it. Well, here again, we have a new driver. If they're going in, they've already brought you out there. You don't have any money, probably no job because you're getting hired on at a place. You don't have as much choice as somebody that's been driving. You had a Coronado with Smith and loved it. Those are huge, right? Where you live, the closest dealer 70 miles away. You park at the Pete dealer. If you got somewhere to park, you run 32 to 3,900 miles a week. That is a lot of miles. No baffles in a tanker. Take the time and never be in a hurry. Yes. Wild Bill, what am I saying, right? Come on. People that don't know, tankers are, if you don't know, right? Tankers have baffles in them to stop there's a wave that goes through the tanker when you stop. Okay, but a lot of them have baffles. But food products, it's not allowed. So like the milk company up here, right here, they don't have them. I ran orange juice for American Citrus. They don't have them. And so you get a wave that comes and hits you. So in the winter, you got to be careful because it'll push you out in the street. So you got to be very, very smooth in a tanker. It's just time and just getting really smooth in it. First week with Pam Mentor was December on the side of a mountain, and your mentor pokes his head from the curtain and says, 3 feet to your right is a big cliff, and then presumably goes back to bed. So that mentor, what he does is poke out and every once in a while give you a fact about the area. That's I find that to be convenient. As you're driving, it's like a tour guide. Oh, as you look to your left, you'll see a large cliff that you might die on, and then shut the curtains back up. Love it. China has cheap labor because they enslave their people. Yes, exactly correct. Right. Just wondering if I'm still working for England. Yes, love it here. Love England. I'm adding bunks to my truck as we speak. I should take call-ins. Yeah, I don't know exactly how to do that. You can do that in a dictatorship. Yeah, exactly right. The 1.92% is intended to give you your average weekly pay for vacation. It's based on a long average of what you make and is far above of $500. Some companies, if you don't know this, they don't give you a week's pay. They have a set rate, $400, $500, whatever. You should get a week's pay if you take a week off. But not everybody does that. They have a flat rate, which I don't understand. The only thing that is reset got extended. My delivery time got pushed out a day, but it doesn't bother you. Good. I started new dedicated Topeka to Mankato, Minnesota, Relogan, Fargo, and then to Pasco, Washington, to drop and hook back to Topeka. Wow, that is a good. That's a good work. Dedicated thing. I love dedicated runs. You know what you're going to make every week. Over the road general freight is going to be the hardest way to make a living, and people that do it, boy, my hat's off to you, really. Offer donuts and coffee. You could bring stuff to them too. This Fifth Amendment thing and all that, I'm just not a fan of it. And that driver got arrested in Kentucky and convicted. Okay, so there you go. My DM was Wendy, and she was new. A weekend, and most people, you had better experience with weekend and night. That's usually where people have the most problem. My vacation pay for the week is $1,228 gross, and you made $64. That's right at $1,228. So they're giving you a week's pay, which is what places should do, and that's very good. But some places don't do it. Dean the Kid, a lot of Prime drivers are YouTubers. I think there may be a misspelling there, but yeah, I don't understand why it's Prime that has all the drivers like that. Maybe they don't make any money at Prime, and so they try and put their stuff out on YouTube because they're always putting out, hey, here's my truck number, whatever, be sure to call in. A lot of these YouTubers, so-called truckers, are yahoos. Well, maybe. First time you got inspected, you argued and yelled. I don't need that's a great idea. Got a ticket for being 2,000 overweight and 2 violations for not having your load entered in your log. There you go. And not doing your pre-trip. Exactly. Even though people argue with me every day almost. I get an email. I get several dozen emails a day. Maybe not every day, but a few times a week, you don't have to do a pre-trip. Yes, you have to log a pre-trip. Your own authority is the only way to go when you're ready. Yeah, I think that's the best way to make money. If you're going to be an owner-operator, be an owner-operator. Get your authority, or at least own the truck. You can lease onto a company as the owner and, get 80-85% at some places, but this leasing thing, I'm not a big fan of that. We had a driver Prime get $11,000 fine for texting in a construction zone. He was fired. Yeah, he should be fired because that's totally illegal, right? But, you cannot hold the phone, which I've seen, and do videos. You cannot do that. That's totally illegal. And so why the company, if the company sees that, you're going to get fired, presumably. Don't do it. And it's so unsafe. I mean, don't do it. A trainer, don't do it. Second time you got inspected, you were polite as possible. How did that work? Literally had the same violations and got left with a verbal warning. Yes. Be professional, look like you know what you're doing, and have taken a shower recently. Don't come out of there swearing, hey, what do you cops want? I pay your salary, and poke them in the chest right here. Right, and that's not a good plan. Michael, you don't have to sell me. You already work at Smith. Yeah, you guys love it there. And actually, for 70 cents a mile, that is excellent, really. How do you get fired for texting while parked, Troy? Well, you get fired for texting while you're parked because you get a text from your company, who is Nestle, and the guy's name is Kraft. Okay, I just think that's funny. And you can't make that kind of stuff up. And so you send a message back, whatever it is, and hit send and then drive away. But because you're on Boost, which is part of Sprint, which stinks, you don't have good service, it takes a few minutes for it to go through. Well, when they receive it, they match the time they got it to you driving on your electronic log and fired him and said you were texting while driving. He said, no way, but they kept the firing until he took it to the media, and that's how I found out about it, obviously. And then once they got involved, now Nestle's offered him his job back with back pay, but he got a job somewhere else. He thinks they were out to get him because they would have to. You can't just look at that. Somebody has to actually take the time to find that out. So I don't think so. They were out to get him at Nestle. That's what he said. He's been driving 30 years. He got a different job, but they fired him for it. Don't send a text to a driver if you don't want a response. Any place that says, our policy is no cell phones, I would never answer the phone for them. I mean, when they call, don't answer the phone and say, hey, that's policy. I've seen tons of places that have this no cell phone thing. Well, I'd say, fine, then I'm not answering the phone. Pretty simple. Don't like the Walmart crowd. I did once. I got a new truck. The Walmart was something drivers can't plan their trip and don't matter what time you get there. Well, I think that it pays a lot better than the regular Smith. It certainly. You like the challenge with over the road. It's a challenge, but the problem at General Freight, it's just so up and down. You just never know. I guess because I'm used to a regular run and a regular pay, I just think that straightens out your pay a little bit easier. You saw a billboard from England stating they have spent $33 million towards increasing driver pay. Yes, but consider they hire 36.7 million people a year. So that's actually only $1 a person is all they actually gave. In a lawsuit, maybe. Yes, I think the guy could sue him, and I probably would at least talk to a lawyer. That's crazy. Is there a certain amount of time you have to log for pre-trip? There's no certain amount of time you have to log anything. According to the FMCSA, you're to log it as you do it. But, here's the thing. How long would it take you to do a full pre-trip of the truck? Legit pre-trip, that's the kind of time that it should be on there. And I know people don't do them. Look, if it's pouring down rain, I'm not going to stand out there and do all that. I get that. It doesn't need that every single day. But it has to be logged every single day because it's required. Very strict delivery times and great pay if you're willing to drive nights. I love nights. I wonder if that driver was a sovereign citizen. I'm a sovereign citizen. You have no authority over me. Oh, I love seeing those on live PD or whatever. Oh, I love it. I am a sovereign citizen. Sir England doesn't even keep their trucks up. Well, what pay increase? I've seen a Western Star for them. One of those new Western Stars. Oh, super nice looking truck. If they saw the info, then they were right to fire him for texting and driving, despite what really happened. Well, but the thing is, we all know just because you send a text doesn't mean it goes immediately. I mean, it doesn't go immediately. Sometimes it takes time. And you can I've heard the thing 10 minutes later actually finally gets sent. So there's no way to know from the time that the person receives it, the actual time the person sends it. They should do at least a little more investigation into that. You wish your company was out to get you. Wow, Bill. Yeah, but they love you there too much. Send them a text message and see what they think about it, or call them up, right? I've seen the billboards. You met a Sierra England driver who'd been there for years and swore by it. There are drivers that just love it because they come in early. When you come into England, you don't realize that big bowl of Kool-Aid there they are having you drink. There might be something in it. And so they have you drink that Kool-Aid, and then they put the kaleidoscope on the wall, and they start talking at night. They're talking to you and stuff. It's just a real problem. You can send messages with the TransFlow app. You can open it with voice, or you have your son with me and let him send the text from your phone. That's a good way to do it. I'll say at a company like this, though, Nestle, if they had some kind of weird policy like this, texting and that, I would never send them a text unless I was parked for the night or something. I just wouldn't do it. Because if they're going to have these stupid policies and then try to get a response from you, no way, right? I'd say, hey, it's your policy. I just can't talk to you because it's your policy. You want to talk to me legally? We could use a blue parrot or something like that, and we could do it that way if you wanted to do it. But, there's no other way to do it, I guess, legally. I can't send you a text, so that's the way that goes, They could just they would have to deal with it, presumably. It's typically 15 minutes, but no hard time in the regs, right? They don't ever have a time. Just log how much time you can run a pre-trip if a trooper were to clog you. Go. He goes, ready? He said, go. And they have a stopwatch. Well, some people put a minute or whatever. You can't do that, right, on the e-log. So they punch in and sit there a minute and go, that's not going to be legitimate. I mean, that's just not going to be legitimate. I do 5 minutes for any change of status. Anything shorter will not register on our e-logs go minute by minute. So I don't know about that. Your Qualcomm messages come over the app, so you can reply and accept trip plans via TransFlow, text-to-speech, and typing. A verbal warning affect the CSA score? No, I don't think so. Because you didn't get a ticket. Weren't written up for anything. So I'm going to say no. We're going to see what people say here. I don't mind driving night. You just don't like the Walmart and hate going to the DC. I still like the dedicated better, especially at 70 cents. I guess you should make your texts have a timestamp on each one of them. They do. It would have a timestamp on your phone, but they get it at a different time than you send it because it's sitting there with the little sending circle. But as soon as you hit send, there's a little time on it. Yes, but the Western Star will be in pieces just like the rest. All of Sierra England has less than 2 years experience. You'd willing to bet money. There are not that many long-term drivers there. You have an app at SWIP, but it won't register if you're moving. Well, that, I guess, solves it as well. So they know that you could not have sent it if you're moving. Oh, that's not a bad idea. Ready Transport likes the channel over there. Every company has drivers that they take care of. Yes. There's always brown nosers and stuff at every company. Hey, big fan. Thank you very much. Thanks for writing in and being here today. A guy plowed into 11 cars this morning, but he claimed it was because a car cut him off. Ugh, but the cars were the only thing that slowed him down. He probably was texting. And maybe. They'll look at his phone, too. Newsbound Parade is 20% cat, nice, and 80% miscellaneous. Cat is their biggest paying account, but refuses to increase their freight load from cat to make sure they don't hurt the drivers if we lose the account. I like the place, and I like the guarantee there as well. It's almost mandatory in trucking, really, now to get a guarantee because you don't want to have to sit and not get paid anything. They guarantee a daily wage there. What's the favorite place to stop and eat on 65? No, there's no great places on 65 really to stop and eat. Trucker Coach. Hey, what's going on, Truckers Coach? Haven't seen you for a while. What's happening? Thanks for being here today. You're at the TA in Raffine, Virginia. It's huge. Yes, gigantic. There were several Falcon trucks there once they closed that I know got taken out of that place. So check around. There may still be one there left for you. My pre-trips usually take 8 to 15 minutes. Yeah, exactly. So that's a legitimate amount of time. That's not going to be any problem at this Roadcheck because look, even though Roadcheck's looking for steering and suspension issues coming up, they're going to be looking at logs and stuff too. It's not just only that. It's going to be logs. And I think if you're doing a legit pre-trip every day like you're supposed to, catching things that are wrong and having them fixed, you won't have any problem. Your wife got a ticket for texting and driving at the McDonald's drive-thru, waiting for her to turn. Only got a ticket because the car was in the drive-thru. How does she get a ticket on private property for that? That's one thing. So I'd fight that. And who's she texting and driving at McDonald's? What is there, a cop behind her ordering a McFlurry and says, oh, I got to get this woman. Your Qualcomm Omnitrix goes by 5 minutes. Oh, all right. Well, mine is minute by minute, so that's pretty interesting. Tina, today's topic, we were talking about this driver that got fired for texting while parked and also the Roadcheck for June 4th to 6th. Oh, right. And an astute viewer asked me to ask everyone this, so as a poll, you should do a poll. I thought, all right, I will do a poll. What kind of phone is people using? Android, Apple, Blackberry, Windows Phone. What are people using out there? I'm going to say it's mostly Android phones. So an astute viewer who is on the channel today will see that. So I'm just curious too. I think it's mostly Android. Anybody still out there running the Windows Phone? Anybody still got that? You're told warnings equal points, written warnings, anything in writing. If they just go, I'm just going to verbally warn you, then no, because there's nothing right in writing. What are my thoughts on driving for Tyson Foods? I haven't really looked into Tyson. I know they do feed you like family, but I haven't looked into Tyson. Is there a Tyson driver out here today? That'd be the best way to do it at the moment. The trucks on Highway 81 in Virginia are ridiculous speed demons. Look, it's everywhere. You started calling them in. The best way to call, if you have a truck that is really being unsafe, the best way is to call their company or to call them in drunk, because I think the police are more likely to stop a semi that they think is drunk. And you don't say they're drunk. You can say, I think they're drunk, or they appear to be drunk, so you're not accusing anybody of anything, but that's a way to get the police more interested in what they're doing. And of course, I had the dash cam video of that truck that was being crazy. I never even heard back from that company. I cannot believe that a company doesn't even say anything back to you. It's just the craziest thing. So maybe if some of them don't care. Smith requires 17 minutes of pre-trip. Okay, per company policy. Okay, I should mention that. Companies can have a company policy that you must take this much time at least to do your pre-trip. So they're allowed to do that. But there's no time in the FMCSA for a pre-trip, post-trip, any of that. The FMCSA doesn't require a certain amount of time. They want you to log it as you do it. But apparently Smith says it's going to take you 17 minutes to do it here. That's a weird amount of time, too. Of course, so's 1.92% of your pay. What happens if you bypass a way station even though you were not told to bypass? It depends if they come and get you. If they don't come and get you, nothing. Which is probably more likely to happen. Nothing will happen. If they come and get you, they can make you come back around and way. That's when you say, I just started driving 3 hours ago. I don't know what I'm doing. You kind of act stupid about it. You can be written up for bypassing a way station. It's a ticket. So you'll probably get fully inspected as well. So if they do come after you, expect an hour or two at the way station. At Tire Kingdom in Lockbourne, it's more like Detention Kingdom. Just glad you're getting paid for it. Detention's fine as long as you get paid for it. These places that are not paying, that's the problem. You work for a company where you had no chance of creeping. You move 10 feet and you're put in drive. Look, Michael, I agree. I kind of agree with it. I do. You're driving. There's no creeping. There's driving and not driving. I mean, let's be honest about it. When you're creeping, you're just trying to get the time back for yourself. You're not being paid properly. That's what I think at a place. Don't creep around, right? Drive when you're driving. That's driving. We agree with that, right? It's drive time. So I got to go with it. You've had to do the same a few times. Car hauler yelled on the CB. You're going 68 and he wanted to go 75. Yikes. Really rude. Yeah, look, call these people in drunk. It's crazy that so many companies are only in business because of one account. It's risky that a company like Falcon basically had like 80 or something % of their business up there in Lordstown. And so, oh my gosh, that is super risky. But when you're working there, you don't know that place has been open 100 years or something like that. So, as an individual driver, you just don't know it. Just be ready at any time to bounce. That's what kids say today, right? Bounce. Right, exactly. You get a $150 to $200 ticket for failure to obey a traffic control device. Nice. A ride along a driver just got one 2 days ago. Super. And they can take you back to the scale, inspect you, all that stuff. You do 15 minutes at Smith and 7 minutes to fuel. Anything else is 5 minutes, and then sleeper. Okay. 99 in north of Altoona and 41, there's a pop-up scale. Oh, that'd be interesting. It's okay. So here, Kim's Android. That's what I'm thinking, Android. Oh, Android and Apple. Nice. Two different kinds of phones. What's going on over there? You've only been traveling 81 for a month, and have you seen 3 fatal accidents? Every road that's built should have 6 lanes, at least 3 each direction, probably more. Wild Bill, yes, exactly. Hey, Wild Bill, you think that's a good idea? Yeah, a phone poll. Let's see what people are using here. So, Mike, iPhone, classy. Here's some more Androids. No Windows phones. I'm surprised. I thought they were taking over the market. I-65 exit 215 headed west. There's a restaurant inside the Marathon gas station. That's pretty good, really. How far west on the 215 is that? The Critic's running an Android phone. Tina has a Samsung S9. Super good. I don't think they enforce it, but it's our policy manual. That's what they teach in orientation. 17 minutes. It's such a weird amount of time. Okay, so the critic has Verizon. We're looking for like Android or Apple, that kind of thing. Steel Horse running an Android Moto. Awesome. More Android phones, which is what it should be, of course. That's what I say. Right, so you have Android also. Wild Bill. Going to call Martin in Laredo. Is that Ian or Ian? There's several Martins out there. Till a wreck happens, it's all hearsay. Yes. Okay, here's a Tyson driver. Maybe had an opinion on them. Oh, okay. No, what is your opinion of them since they're there? I mean, what is your legit opinion of them? Hey, Todd, what's going on? It's good to see you here. So, Steel Horse, you have a 10-minute is a requirement. So they're saying, look, a pre-trip here is going to take you at least 10 minutes to do. Exactly. Because they want you to have it logged on there just for this other driver's pre-op problem of going 4 days without a pre-trip. You can't do that. Okay, you have to have a pre-trip. Cruising with Jay, hello. Thank you for being here today. Good to see you today. But on topic, you've seen a couple of drivers swerve, not paying attention. Yes. Drive at night, so it's not putting anyone in danger. Okay, look, I see this every night, and what it usually is people are tired because I drive at night, and so I'm used to it. I've been doing it for a long time, but people that have a split schedule or weird schedule, I think they're tired. Okay, so it just depends. What do I do? It depends if they're putting someone in danger. Are they really all over the road? Or are they just tired and going to wake up? I don't know. Each one is individual. But from what people are saying, if they're cutting off cars and swerving, causing accidents, that's the time to call somebody in. And calling the company is not necessarily as good as getting a policeman out there. Tyson is running ads in Georgia for $70,000. Not great. That's not bad. That's not terrible. $1,400 a week is not terrible. Someone called Swift Safety on me because your ABS light was on your trailer. The deal called freaking out. Why are they freaking out about it? Called safety and told you it was fine as long as there are no symptoms. Yeah, right. The lights are on. I'll say this, all right. The ABS light on the trailer, the yellow light back there, you can be pulled over for that. It's a violation because then the ABS has got a fault. What I suggest? I would suggest that you unplug it. Okay, I get a lot of older trailers where the light stays on. I think you might want to unplug it from the back and then plug it in when you drop the trailer, just because you don't want a reason to be pulled over. That's what I'm saying about that. So if you reach back there and unplug that light, the light is off. Your DL was freaking out because they don't know anything about that light. But I just don't want the light on attracting attention. They will write you up if you get to ship or receiver and you sleep. That makes sure you sit for 7 minutes. You put your macro in for arrival or safety will write you up. That's crazy. I mean, these minute things, come on, people. All the Qualcomms will switch to driving if the tires move. That's what it should be. Well, because in December 2019, ELD mandate. So that's due to the E-Log rule. Yes, exactly. December 16th, I think, is the date. I'll have to get close. As we get closer to that, I'll look that up. You should be able to go through a parking lot on duty and not on drive, like after fueling. Well, you're still driving. Legally, if you're driving, you're driving. You can't drive at 5 miles an hour and say I'm not driving. So legally, they're required to do it. So as soon as you drive, it should be driving. Drivers are the funniest group of people. They're the biggest people when driving, but nicest at the truck stop. Yes, it's like two different people. Because driving, people are anonymous. The anonymity of people allows them to bring out their bad side. You're in Google. You have a Google phone, so Pixel, right? But you're going to switch back to Samsung, Android. Those are both Android phones, though. So looks like Android is the predominant phone. The state of Illinois will chase you down if you run a scale, but in others, it depends if there's enough officers. However, you shouldn't be running scale. I agree, but, if you're new and pass it, I get that. You may not know or you don't see the sign. Some of them are in a weird location. Well, what about the scale in, what is that, Sauk Village? Coming down there off of US 30 and that 395, 391 or whatever. You got to go like 2 miles down to the scale. Forget that. The creeping you did, I wanted to see that, right? I've seen Marcus creeping. How many, where'd I go? Am I that far back? Oh, I got to get moving. Right. The creeping I did to be nice to another driver was backing up 10 feet and gave him more room to back up. I understand now. Stuff like that, it's a problem. You'll have to decide, do I want to go back on driving, to creep back for this driver? Maybe you may not be able to. Two phones mean they have a ditch phone. That's what I'm saying. Why you got this separate phone, especially on another kind of phone? Okay, Semper Fido is running Android. That's good. Mad Mounty can use your on-duty yard move. You could, I guess, if your company allows it. I-81 could be 100 lanes wide and it wouldn't help. Oh, day cab. Okay, I was wondering if somebody's going to be on some other phone. You got the Blackberry. You have the last one in the United States. Larry's lucky to have 2 lanes each way in Oklahoma. Another Android phone. Here's an i5 Bandit as an iPhone 7. So mostly Androids. No Windows phone. Nobody's got a Windows phone out there? How many hours can a driver drive legally each day? 11 hours on a shift. You get a few more than that a day, depending on how you log everything. Windows is mostly a niche market. No, I thought Windows was going to take over phones. I mean, I thought they're going to be the biggest things. Another cool thing about Smith is disc brakes. So they're getting all the new disc brakes and air ride suspension on all 3 axles. That's nice. How those disc brakes stop like a car, right? You can't believe Crete won't let you go home to see your grandmother in the hospital without delivering a loan. Some of these companies don't care. Call your dispatchers, go up the line, and see what is going on. Okay, Mr. Javi, ready? Transport Note 9. Nice. So my wife just got a Note 9 as well. She likes it, so I'm sure you enjoy that phone. Caitlin's on an Apple product over there. If you pass a weigh station, you get skinned alive if they catch you, right? Windows phones are defunct. I don't think so. They no longer work. Microsoft took them offline. I don't know about that. I think they're the next thing in phones. JB on S10 Plus Android. Okay, right. She looked at those S10s and thought the Note 9 was bigger. It had a wider screen, so that's why she got that phone. Wild Bill logs 15 minutes for pre-trip, whether it took that long or not. Then at least you're safe on the if you get pulled into a scale, although you may not have as many scale problems as some other people. Will the FedEx contract drivers ever stop flipping doubles? No, not as long as there are doubles to flip. You know that you're getting used to on-duty yard move, which should take care of it. If they allow it, starting in December, see if they're going to allow that over there. Warner was good at penalizing you for not doing a pre- and post-trip. You're supposed to do those, certainly. What is the penalty, though? What did they do? They can't take your pay for it, so I find it more troublesome to log. You mean I do the logging pre, in turn, post-trips. Yeah, you have to do, the pre- and post-trips, always get stuff about that. At the end of the day, you have to be satisfied. At the beginning of the day, you have to be satisfied the truck is safe. At the end of the day, you have to do a post-trip. Now, you only have to write it up if there's anything wrong with the truck. If there's nothing wrong, you don't have to write it up anymore, depending on your company's policy. So, how do you know if there's nothing wrong if you didn't do a post-trip? That's what I ask people. People say, well, I don't have to write it up. Exactly. How do you know that there's nothing wrong unless you looked around the truck? There's no way to know. So, therefore, in my opinion, you have to do one to know there's nothing wrong with the truck. You ran a Windows phone, Matt, till your contract ran out a year after starting PAM. Worst decision of your life. Really? With the tiles? Glad you switched to Android, violently stabbing your Windows phone in the end without the battery. Yes, don't stab it with the battery in there. You're going to ruin all those tiles. Good. I got a letter. You're a Nigerian prince and need to move $3 million to your bank, but I need to transfer safety 10% deposit for it. Yeah, I'm in for that stuff because, I've had several princes write to me with that kind of thing. So absolutely. Will they put you out of service? That's how I can afford to get a Windows phone. They'll put you out of service for something like a taillight or something like that. Well, no, usually you're not put out of service for that. You're just written up for it. And that's that taillight kind of thing. That's the kind of thing where, depending on how you get out of the truck and treat the person, and whether you even get a ticket for it or they just tell you it's wrong. That kind of stuff is you don't want to get written up for because it might have been working when you left. Unplug the light. That's what I do. If your pigtail isn't making good connection, try folded paper. You can also spread the little, spread them apart with a screwdriver. One of them is split there. Spread that apart a little bit. WD-40 helps as well. 394, that's what it is, right? That scale off on 30 and 394. You can't even see it. It's like a mile down there. I'll tell you, I never stopped at it. I never went over there, even though it said open. When you get off on 394 going south, and it's just south of Chicago, there's a scale on US 30, and there's a sign on 394, but the scale is way the heck down there through like 3 lights. And it's a one-way scale, meaning both directions have to go on one pad. One guy goes one way, the next truck goes from the other direction. Oh my gosh. I never go down there. Running the scale is fun. You can put bets down on whether they get you or not. Yeah, look, I don't think they come out that often to run people down. So, and especially with pre-pass, how do they know if you didn't get a green light? You watched Milkman. You watched videos for a long time. I finally made an account so I could join in on the chat. Yeah, get on YouTube and join in the chat. Thanks for being here today. What kind of phone do you have? On I-65 restaurant, the Trail Tree restaurant is off I-65 on 215. All right. They write you a bad inspection to find your company. If they don't fix it, they may make you get it fixed quickly, though. That's correct. In all honesty, I love working for Tyson. Oh, that's 3 to 3,500 miles a week. That's a big week. Met almost all the dispatch team, and they're all fantastic. That's half of the battle. If they would just get better dispatchers, they wouldn't lose as many drivers. You've only been driving for 18 months. Oh, a year, and only 6 for Tyson. I've been driving for 1 year and about 6 for Tyson, only making 49, but I've heard of a driver making 70. 49 and 3,500 miles is still excellent money. All right. Log in and wait for 15 minutes if it's raining out. If it's pouring down rain or something, yes. Driver at a company used to work at was given a drug test paperwork, but never showed up on the collection site. Isn't that just like a positive? Now he wants to come to my company. So he was given a drug test but never showed up. So was this pre-employment? I mean, that's one thing. And if at work, if you're given it to go take it, if they reported that as a refusal, that is a huge problem. If they reported it as a refusal, he's probably not going to be able to get a job. Had to get a backup after screen broke over 2 weeks to get screen in place. That's crazy. Can't you go in one of these little places in these strip malls that do it on the spot for like $80 or whatever? I don't think Windows does phones anymore. Dang it. I don't understand. The Windows tiles are the best thing ever happened to phones. It's called a refusal. Hurts just as much as a positive. Yeah, refusing a drug test? No way. If you aren't positive, you'll pass a drug test. Don't go to orientation. Yes, that's certainly true. Look, you shouldn't be doing drugs. Let's just say that. If you think you're going to pass, I don't know, go to Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, and buy a home drug test kit that you're supposed to give to your kid because you think your kid's a big stoner because they're 43 and still living in your house. Okay, go get that test. Test yourself. Okay, before you go to orientation. First person running a OnePlus 6. That's unusual, right? I've looked into those OnePlus phones. So you meant Blackberry. Where did the you meant Blackberry's a niche where you're talking about Google, and I wrote Google by mistake. Blackberry is a niche, yes, but you can still get a Blackberry phone, or at least they still work. Werner would make you take a safety phone test and log test before you would be dispatched. Oh, you didn't do it. Okay, so they don't take your pay. They're just making you do extra training so you understand. Here's a long YouTube name. Helping myself so I can learn and help others. Love it. Automatic citation if you blow by a scale or if you leave it when you shouldn't. Yeah. Okay. Ask you how you would know. How would you know about that? How do you leave a scale when you shouldn't? If each of us could call in 5 minutes to talk about topic, then 2 minutes to complain about whatever, that'd be great. That'd be something. I'll have to get a phone number for that. Log in, wait 15 minutes, then pre-trip, or log in and pre-trip, then wait for 15 minutes. Well, what I'm saying is some people log in and sit there for 15 minutes and then drive so that you can show this on-duty time as a pre-trip when you first get started in the day. I feel your pain helping yourself. New Mexico got you for that a year ago. You still get to drive, though. Penalties were taking phone tests and watching videos, so it's not a pay problem. My pre-trip is to get in the seat, get 10th gear, and if it's still running and on the road, it's okay. You still got to log. We got to log some on-duty time for this pre-trip, even if you're not doing it, which you should be doing it, especially June 4th to the 6th is Roadcheck. You really hated those stupid tests. I never did a post-trip report because it's a macro, not a button on their Qualcomm. You forgot. Well, there's no post-trip report to do if there's no problem, unless the company requires a post-trip every day, problem or not. You can pass any drug test, but you don't work for companies with an orientation class. Most companies do have an orientation. I mean, who doesn't have at least some kind of orientation? Friend got a $450 ticket in California for running a scale. Wow. And a level 1, right. When they bring you back, you're getting inspected. I would say California would be one you wouldn't want to pass by. Don't accept a job if you're going to be an issue. Yes. Go to CVS and test yourself with one of those kits where you test, your kid that lives in the basement playing video games all day. In my experience, officers are willing to work with you if you're just nice and polite and professional. Yeah, they're doing their job. We're doing our job. These next few days, if they're out inspecting, get out of your truck like a professional. Have all your paperwork ready. Know what you're talking about. And just be nice. Hey, what can I do for you? When you get out of the truck, hey, you're wasting my time and all that. You can't do that. Remember, the inspection's logged on duty. If you're stopped at a scale, that time must be on duty time while they're inspecting your truck, okay? So that needs to match. Whatever paperwork they give you, those times have to match on your ELD. So do not punch off duty while you're there. That doesn't work. Jory also got a Note 9. Oh, several of them out there. Yeah, she loves hers too, right? I'm stuck with an old phone, but she's got the Note 9. And also, so another Android voter here. Michael saw 76 truck stop, Texas, a few weeks back. So is it coming back? Is it the Orange Ball 76? Like the famous one, which Wild Bill will remember there in Chicago off of 130th, 159th Street, and I-94 right up there, maybe 159th Street. Spicy's watching this while you drive, hopefully just listening to it while you drive. 421 drive for Walmart. I'm not a fan of all their rules, and I will not slip seat a sleeper truck. Just that, they could pay $185. I'm not doing it. And for me, this show, money is not everything here, right? I want a job that I like to go to every day, and I'm not sleeping in Bedbug City, because somebody else is slip seating. I will not slip seat a sleeper truck. I will not. What do you think about Black Horse? Yeah, I like Black Horse. I went and talked to them here. They came here to town to hire, and I have a whole packet of hiring stuff from them here about all their benefits and programs. But they're one of those logistics companies too, because here they do one thing here, and in another city they do a logistics thing there. And then, so each city, wherever you are, you have to call them and see if what they're doing there fits what you want to do. It's not one big thing for the whole country. But absolutely. You were comparing a logging fueling to inspection. $250 to replace screen on Note 9 plus 2 weeks. Oh, on a Note 9. Oh, yeah. Be careful with that thing. I would absolutely not work for Walmart. If I work for Smith, I'll pull Walmart chose. That's a better deal and actually pays more than Walmart does too. I-70 westbound in Frederick, Maryland. State police will chase you down. Okay, so that's one you don't want to run. You shouldn't run them. I'm not telling people to run the scale, okay? But it does happen, especially with newer people. They may not see it. And that scale on 30, you get off of there, off of 394, you don't know. That scale still, you can't even see it. How long are the medical checkups? It depends, right? I have a 2-year physical. Depends which one you get. So people get a year, 6 months, whatever the doctor gives you. 2 years is the longest one that you can get. And that's what I have. A lot of people get that. And it goes down from there. Is it going viral that when you come up behind another driver on the interstate and go past him, he has some big urge to speed up? I love that. Never used to be that way. I don't understand it either. Somebody's out there. I'm coming up, especially at night. This happens a lot. They're going 50, 52, go to pass them. Suddenly, they're still stuck with me, and I can only go 65. I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I know they were sleeping, and they see a truck coming. Oh, wait a minute. That's a company truck. We can't let them pass me, right? Zell, hey Mark, I heard the inspection coming up is focusing on steering and suspension. Yeah, the inspection June 4th to 6th, which starts tomorrow. Inspection is steering and suspension issues and wipers. I saw that written down too, so I thought that was interesting. Tips are just do what you do every day. I think professional drivers every day are doing a good pre-trip. Everything should be fixed or getting fixed, when there's a problem. And so be professional if you get inspected. You shouldn't have any issues, really. And really, if you're driving a truck that has problems in a suspension or in steering or anything else, you should go get it fixed. You don't want to drive a truck that's unsafe. Breaking down just costs everybody money on the road usually. It's not a good plan, right? Get it fixed and be professional at the inspection. Inspections are on duty time. Your dash cam records sound. Pre-pass beeps to bypass the scale. I say out loud, pre-pass, beeping, go, and green flashing light in case you pull me over. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if that would hold any water, though. The green light blinks for quite some time, though, on the pre-pass. It blinks, 10 minutes, 15 minutes? It blinks for a while. The drug test wasn't for a new hire. He was a 7-month employee. Oh, that's a problem, then. But I told him not to put my name on his app. Yes, exactly. Don't recommend that person. So that's like a random drug screen that they didn't go to. That they probably put that down as a refusal. You think about leaving Creed and heading over to Jim Palmer lease. What do I think? I think no. Oh my gosh. What do people think about that? Leaving Creed and getting a Jim Palmer lease truck. I want to know what people think about that. You arrived at Tire Kingdom at 9 on time and still locked in the dock for a tire live unload. Well, depending. Oh, I see 9 Eastern. That's a problem. I hope you've gotten about 5 hours and 20 minutes of pay. Wild Bill, told your old man you're not testing. Don't care if it's your house or not. Were you living in the basement at 42, Wild Bill, which would have been in the future, really? I have a policy to try to not run scales. Don't try it. I don't do it, but people do. It happens, especially if you're new, and not all the scales are at a convenient spot. So any tips on the DOT inspection blitz? Yeah, just keep your truck up to snuff, really. I think that, these blitzes and that get people concerned. I see a lot of owner-operators taking off. And why? Because I looked at the rates, and DAT says the rates go up during this week. I don't understand it. Leaving a scale before you're supposed to. It happens when you're ahead of your book and you have to wait several hours for your logbook. I can't be here yet, officer. Drive at night, no issues. Driving at night does help you with the scales. Chris does a daily DVIR. Some companies require it. Remember, you do not have to fill that out at the end of the day if there are no problems with your vehicle, unless your company requires it. Then you still have to fill it out as a company policy. Werner requires a post-trip every day, so then you have no choice. They require it. So even if there's no problem, they require it. Good. I team drive. All right. What do you think about that? Your truck never stops unless you're getting fuel or docking. That's not for everybody. I won't do it, but again, that's another one of those things. Like, I'm not going to do it, but if you can do it, be my guest. Spicy's watching on a Note 9. Oh, I bet I look good on there, even better than in person. 421 has a Motorola flip phone. Do you have the StarTAC phone? So that's probably Android, though, right? Motorola would be an Android phone. Chris is watching on a Note 5. Wow, time to head over to the upgrade store for that. What do I think of Red Viking Trucker? I don't talk about other channels here generally, so I try to keep this as a drama-free zone, basically. So I'll talk about companies like Driver Solutions because they are on YouTube doing videos. But individual truck drivers on channels, I'm out of that drama, certainly. Phone in would be interesting to say the least. Yeah, I think so, yeah. Wild Bill says that was at 159th and I-94 was the big orange ball truck stop. Jeffrey's using the Google Pixel XL phone. That's an unusual way to do it, too. Go and get a Pixel. But you're also on Android then, certainly. You're getting the actual version of Android. Pre-tripped your truck this morning. Oil, everything, good. My Monday ritual, brakes, whole 9 yards. Tuesday through Friday, not as thorough. Look, it's just kind of like your car probably. Look, are you supposed to do that every day? Yes. Do people do it every day? No. Let's be honest about that. Once a week is generally plenty for all that stuff, but you're still going to have to show sometime each morning or whenever you start for doing a pre-trip. You're going to have to do it because it's required by the DOT. Well, it's what is required for a pre-trip. Pre-trip's not required. It's not. Okay. When you leave, you have to be satisfied that the truck is safe to be operated. All right. That is what they say. How can you do that again also without checking it out? So you can't just eyeball it as you walk up to it. So that means time for a pre-trip. Stan is listening to the show on your way to Pittston and never missed a show. Pittston, Pennsylvania. Thanks for being here. I appreciate that. Thanks for being here every week. How about that guy that refused to help with this DOT inspection? That's what I was saying earlier, Claire. There was a guy, and I think it was Kentucky. They were inspecting, and they always have you like press the brake, turn on your lights. He wouldn't do it. He's like, I don't care if you inspect my truck. I'm not going to help you inspect my truck. They arrested him. He got arrested, and he guilty. Okay, because people, he has a right. He does not have a right. In fact, he got a guilty. So, and they were hard-nosed on him too. He thought the prosecutor would drop it. The prosecutor's like, no, we're going to court on it. Okay, we're going to go to court on it. So that's how they did that. And he really bit the bullet on that one. Hello, everyone. I'm 100% sure that if he got fired just for texting while parked, it's because he was already under the spotlight by the company. Here's the thing, Karika, right? He was parked. He got a text from his company, Nestle. His name is Kraft. I think it's hilarious, okay? Anyhow, they text him something. He stops. answers, goes. But that took time for the text message to go through. So they got it like 5 minutes later because he was in a bad spot because he has Sprint, which only has hardly any coverage anywhere. So anyhow, they got it later and said, oh, you're driving when you sent this text. That's not true. He was actually parked, but it took time to go through. Now he took it to the media. They fired him, okay? And he took it to the media. They went to that spot with a Sprint phone, and it took 9 minutes for their text to go through. So once they posted that out there, then he got offered his job back by Nestle, but by then he got another job. And he said no way. But the problem was it took time for the text to go through. At a company like that, if they have some kind of weird policy, like you can't text, then I would never respond to them until I was parked for the night. I'd say, this is your policy. I'm not messing with it. 421, your company requires a 25-minute pre-trip. That's really long. That is a thorough pre-trip. You saw a 100-pound mat saw a 100-pound cocaine drug bust at a weigh station. Wow. Well, Laredo. Okay. Guy ripped out the first fifth gear and stuffed it full. Really? DOT found it because the bolt was loose. There you go. One loose bolt gets you in jail. Dang it. Gary has a Note 8. Nice, and love Android. You could choose your Bluetooth to be calls or media like headsets and calls to the truck. I like that because I can broadcast podcasts to the truck Bluetooth and listen to it to the truck speakers. Pretty nice. What happens if you only have a few minutes until you need your 30-minute break? Can you get pulled in for inspection? Can you ask them to take your 30-minute break before? You can ask. You could certainly say, I need to take a 30-minute break. But, they could say, no, we're going to inspect you right now. In which case, at the end of the inspection, then you would have to take your 30-minute break before you leave. I would tell them, if after the inspection, then I have to sit here for 30 minutes. I'm not allowed to drive. So do you mind if I park in the back after this? If you show them that you're following the rules like this, that's very helpful, I think, for an inspection. I really do. A Zell has been at a shipper since 8, and it's 1 and got $20. KLLM. Oh, right, because your first few hours are free at KLLM. Isn't that great? 3 hours free, then $10 an hour, I think is how it is. And that would work out right. So you get $20. That's pretty good. And yes, thanks KLLM for giving $20 to a professional for sitting there. Love it. We just get off the exit before the scale and get back on after being under an ag exemption. They don't even bat an eye. Well, because you're on a country road with an ag thing, so no problem. It's focused on getting your money. Just hand them your wallet. I don't have any problems with scales. If you're driving something that, looks okay or whatever, and you know what you're doing, I think it helps a lot. Getting out and saying, I have my rights or whatever is not going to be a good way to start an inspection. I watched a YouTube video of a guy. He asked how you're supposed to inspect your suspension. Nice. How are you supposed to get under there? It amazes me how the DOT allow pay by the mile or load in this day and age. It incentivizes poor judgment. It does. The problem is it's America. And so it isn't the DOT really allows the pay by the mile. We allow it. I mean, really, ultimately, we allow it by continuing to accept it because you get what you will accept. And so drivers that if would ever stay together for any kind of length of time, we wouldn't have to get paid that way, certainly. Steel Horse, not a great deal. Other companies have better detention pay. Yes, most companies have better detention pay, including yours. You'd be making a lot more money than that. Reason prime drivers do video of the recruiting bonus to get 20 drivers a month. Exactly. Look, that's why a lot of people do recruiting videos on YouTube. No question about it. There's no question about that. As soon as they start, I've seen people start. I started here yesterday. Here's my information. They don't know anything about that company. On pre-pass, you can also hold button down and it shows the most recent light. Oh, okay, good. See, I don't have that. I don't know that. But I thought it blinked for a while. Wyoming Port of Entry have unique rules. Yeah, you usually have to stop in there. I never been pulled in inspection. You've never been pulled in for an inspection. Nice. So I don't really know how the process works. Easy. You've been weighed but never fully pulled over. Look, it's going to say go park. Bring in your paperwork. So grab your permit book, paperwork. Wear your glasses. If you wear glasses, don't forget to keep those on just so they know that you have them. And just walk in the scale and say, look, here, this is, you pulled me in. Here's all my paperwork. Lay it out. Have it all organized. And say, here we go. And that's it. Just be professional with them. They're professional with you, and you shouldn't have any problems with it. Sometimes they just want to look at your paperwork and let you go. A poster construction is not required by federal law. This is clearly explained in the FMCSA. What is a poster construction? 1 month left to finish your year. Well, that's worth staying the month to get the contract taken care of at that place. A post-trip inspection, correct. But you have to be satisfied. You have to write it up. You have to write up any problems that the truck has. You can't do that if you didn't look it over. That's what I tell people. If you don't look it over, how do you know if it's got problems? Rodney's enjoying your days off. You'll be back on Friday. Oh, right. That's a good, nice week off. Yeah, the Watchful. Thanks for not talking about the drama. Yeah, I keep it drama to the minimum. We just drama with companies here. I've heard a lot of senior drivers say they to have take-home time during this inspection. Yeah, I don't understand it. Coming up so they don't have to deal with it. It isn't a big deal. You know, they did 67,000 inspections last year. I don't know how many they normally do during that time, but that doesn't seem like that many considering there's 1 million trucks on the road. And a lot of times the scales are closed at night. You see that even during inspection time. Don't sweat the inspection. If your truck is in good shape, you won't have any problems. What do I think about everybody going to work for one company? That'd be an interesting way to do it. I don't know if they would have enough trucks for everybody. What do I know about Black Horse? They're a logistics company. So logistics companies do different stuff everywhere they go. They do an account here and it pays this much. And over there they do account, it pays mileage. Over there they're doing an account that pays hourly. I like the place in general. You know, when they came to town here, they had a good deal going here. $260 a day and $310 on Saturdays or whatever to be home every day. And so, yes, but in where you are, it may not be that. You'll have to call and say, what do you have by me? Because it's not like a KLLM here where it's one pay for the whole country. Each thing they do pays different. And a lot of their stuff is home every day. Boyd Brothers or Knight, which is better for newbies looking to train? Well, it depends. Do you want to run, do you want to run flatbeds or do you want to run vans? I guess Boyd's has some vans too. A DVA is a report listing the results of an inspection conducted throughout the course of the day. Nowhere in that regulation does it require you to perform a post-trip. No, but a DVIR must be filled out at the end of the day listing any problems that you found. If you did not inspect the truck ever, how did you find any problems? I'm looking for a company that takes 6 months experience, all endorsement, no limit, that takes California people, no camera, no Facebook, no FB, right? What do you think, Mark? Thanks. Let's see what people think. That's why we're on the live show today. I do stay on top of 3,000 miles per week run with Pam. I did manage to avoid the 6-month team drive. That's good. With another rookie and got solo. That's good because they do a lot of that over there, which I think is horrible, where they take 2 trainees together and make them drive together. It doesn't make any sense to me. Some companies force you to do a 1-minute pre-trip and then you have to leave. Wow. Would you just run around the truck? Yeah. Oh, looks like smack one tire. Okay, they're all pretty much good. Here's a couple lights. I'm out of here. See ya. Do you think hourly drivers should be paid for half-hour breaks? Well, you don't get paid for a lunch at work. So I have thought that hourly drivers should get paid for the time that they work. Steel Horse, find a new company. Yeah. Look, you got your 1 month coming up. Now's the time to get started looking for a place. Kim is going to go to bed. You got to be up at 11:45. Oh, all right. Well, get some sleep, and we will see you next week. Driver does not participate in the DOT inspection. That's correct. No brake lights, $200 fine. Oh, that would have been a way to do it, wouldn't it? No turn signal. You're placed auto service till these are fixed. Do not move your truck. That would have been an interesting way to do it too, isn't it? But because he wouldn't help them, I don't know if they had some kind of rule like they can't get in your truck. That might be the problem. So I guess you're right, though. They could say, well, until these turn on, you can't leave. That's another way to do it. That would have been a great way to do it. What's a good headset from Blue Parrot? Holy mackerel. It's time for a Blue Parrot break. It's time for a Blue Parrot 450. The headset to have from Blue Parrot. As I say Blue Parrot, I should mention also that we're getting close to 20,000 subscribers on the channel. I couldn't be more grateful to everyone, believe me. And there's going to be a large giveaway show at the 20,000 subscriber mark. And Blue Parrot is already on board. They're sending me some headsets. I already emailed them. I'm trying to get some other stuff as well. I've emailed other companies, all to be given away. So, and if your company wants to participate in this, have them get in contact with me. If they want to send me some stuff, I will give it away. I'll give away coupons, shirts, whatever people want to send in. It's all to give away, nothing for me to keep. So That's what I'm doing. But Blue Parrot is already on board for the headset giveaway. That's going to be a lot of fun. And that should be coming up here in 3 to maybe 6 weeks or so. I'll certainly announce that here. One of the main jobs, police decide whether you're a good guy or bad guy. So if they decide you're a bad guy, they'll be more than happy to dump their built-up frustrations on you. Yeah, look, go into the scale or wherever and just be a reasonable person. That's all. They're just doing their job. Does KLLM advertise their no detention policy? No, I don't think so. They do pay it, okay? They don't have a no detention. It's $10 an hour after 3 hours. Maybe that is on their site. You look into reefer companies, I know for a fact they're out there that do 48 states. Yeah, why don't you go over to Schuster? How about that? Call Schuster, Holland Enterprises. You know, there are a lot of long distance. Call ShipX. You got a year? Call ShipX up and compare that to what you're getting now, including your free insurance at ShipX. Holy mackerel. What do you fail at DOT inspection? There's tons of reasons that they can fail you for an inspection, where they could put you out of service. Absolutely. There's lots of different ways that they do that. You did hit a deer a few weeks ago and took your right front portion of your bumper and no structural damage. Well, that can be fixed. How's the deer? Trucks should ride the yellow line when they're passing on the left. I'm tired of trucks dragging their trailer into my lane because they're not paying attention. People should be paying attention. They shouldn't be doing other things. They shouldn't be holding their phone and making videos, stuff like that, okay? Please, it's so frustrating out there. Pay attention. And that, look, when you do that to drivers, that makes, that gives everybody a bad name in the industry as well. You start getting close to cars and that doesn't help anybody. That doesn't help anybody. That's not going to help our case later. Don't get falconed by the DOT. Yes, that's very good. Oh, I should have thought about that. I don't have a slide for that. That was good, though. I'm a magnet for DOT inspections, 5 and 18 months. Wow. Passed all of them. Okay, last one on Mother's Day. That's not right. 6 p.m. in the Wyoming Port of Entry. When you thought they were closed, what are they? Well, that's not really a holiday to close on, but that's pretty good. If a truck is passing you, common courtesy to give them all the lane. Yes. I mean, gee whiz. I took the medical because you don't know what they're going to do. Took the medical for a learner, and it was done by a chiropractor, exactly. He didn't understand a couple of your medications, so he gave me 3 months. Oh, my God. I mean, he should, if he's going to do the DOT inspection, the physical, he should know what he's talking about. Here in Indiana, they can also use nurse practitioners, so you may have to go have it done at your expense at a doctor. That might not be a bad idea to do. They're around $60 in Indiana. Depends where you are. So exactly what do drivers need? I don't know. What do they need for a lot of stuff? What are you talking about? If and when autonomous trucks come out, can you be an owner-operator of one and not lose your job? Well, that's interesting. Could you be an owner-operator and own an autonomous truck? And so then you're the owner of the truck. I don't see why not. If companies are going to own autonomous trucks, I guess you could be an owner-operator, own a bunch of trucks. I guess the truck's $10.99, so because it doesn't need any benefits. So that's an interesting way to do it. Do companies have their own doctors? I don't know. I mean, I'm at a pretty big place and they use a clinic. So I think a lot of places have a clinic in there where the doctor kind of works for them, but he's not their doctor, kind of like Schneider, and stuff, places like that, but they don't directly work for them because it's some kind of conflict probably. CRST is going to give you a truck to give away for that show. Oh, that'd be awesome. If somebody at CRST, tell them I will promote the crap out of their place and tell people not to work there, but come and get their free truck. Don't forget about the Diamond Study Louis Vuitton fingerless gloves. Yes, those are already coming in the mail as well. The gloves, I can't wait to give those away. Tina says the aid of Blue Parrot. Yeah, thank you, Blue Parrot, for that, for stepping up again. They were on the show a long time ago, early in the channel, very early in the very beginnings, as we came up out of the swamp and took our first steps. I was told there was no set time for pre-trip. That's correct. I do pre-trip before your 10-hour break is up, and then just log 10 minutes on the e-log. Okay, a pre-trip would be before you drive. You have to be satisfied that the truck is safe. That's what it says. They don't use the words pre-trip. But before you leave on your trip, the truck must be safe, and you must be satisfied that it's safe. So the question always is to people, how can you be satisfied the truck is safe if you don't check it? So by not checking it, you can't really be satisfied that it's safe. That's the question that you might have to answer at a scale. Which company is the best for you, Schneider or Western? Oh, that's hilarious. Let's see what people say about that. What do people think about Western Express? Asking about the deer makes me think of animal stories. Oh my God, Larry Lujak. I used to listen to that. I had a radio on my 10-speed Schwinn, and I would listen to that in the morning during the summer when we were out of school. Heat 95 truck route in Nevada, lots of slow drivers and campers. Oh yeah, out there, right. Lots of nothing. Should have more lanes. Yeah, all these roads need more lanes. You've only had one inspection in 2 years. Benefit of driving at night. Exactly. So the night driving, even though people don't like it a lot, has a lot of benefits where a lot of the scales are closed. You're much less likely to get pulled over on the side of the road for an inspection because it's much more dangerous. So as long as they don't see some kind of problem, you're probably going to be able to skate by where you wouldn't otherwise. CRN could have the third person in the truck be a doctor. Oh, that's good. The third person in the truck could be a doctor trainer, and then that person, as at truck stops, could give CR England physicals and train the drivers at the same time. That's pretty good. Come and get the free trip, but don't work there. That's exactly it. Companies that that send stuff are still doesn't change my opinion of them. If they want to give things away, I'd like stuff low, like maybe coupons, stuff from corporations, whatever I can get to give away, I'm in for. Because I want to give away the maximum amount of stuff on that show. It's going to be great, and the way it's going, it should be sometime next month. What do I think about dedicated dollar accounts? I think they're a lot of work, but I always think a dedicated account is the best way to go at a company. Why? Because general freight, you just don't know what you're doing. You may end up like a KLLM driver. Here's who's sitting 5 hours and has made $20, which is horrible, but fortunately is going to get out of that situation. At least they give you your license. And when you quit, they're going to wonder, I wonder what happened. You should really tell them after you quit. After you quit, I would tell them, look, I quit because you don't pay any of this. And they need to know that. If they heard it from enough places, they would change their ways. But dedicated account, yeah, always go for it in that dedicated stuff. You better be able to back up at a dollar store, though. Here's a couple suggestions for YouTube truckers. Film where you're parked, yes. Please don't start by making us listen to some... everybody starts their show a different way, certainly. I love it when people vape for 20 minutes as well. That's always pretty useful. You're near DeMott at the Loves. Oh, all right. You like the cool weather, isn't it? A nice day today. It's super great. My uncle lives up there near DeMott, so great. Rick says Western Express is horrible. All right. There's the first comment on that. What happens if you're sleeping at a weigh station and you're still on your 10 hours off duty and they ask you to do an inspection? All right, so the FMCSA came out with that and said, no, they're not allowed to do that. They may not know you're on your 10 hours off duty, and so you should tell them, I'm on my 10 hours off duty. Now, you better not be in the seat telling them that you're in the sleeper berth. So I pop the window open or whatever, or stick my head out there and say, I'm on a 10-hour break. Can we do this when I'm done with the break? Don't be rude about that either. But they're not allowed to do that. And just be nice about it. I would say I probably wouldn't sleep at a scale during this couple of days, but 20 Smokies North and South I-25 Pueblo to Trinidad. It's hard to speed out there, really, if you're in a company truck with the high speed limits. Because somebody said that to me the other day in a comment that, that 70 miles an hour, company trucks, should all go 85. Most company trucks don't go 85. They just don't. BCO, you hit a barn owl in Reno back in the day. Hit the windshield and got stuck in the visor. That's horrible. Pull it out, almost had a heart attack. That's terrible and probably scary. I like the night driving shift, Jimmy. Yes, isn't that's the best driving? How about that phone holder gives? Oh, I should give away the phone holder. I wonder where that went off to. I should write to the CFI and see if they have phone holders to give away. A glove with no fingers, you mean a mitten? No, fingerless glove. Fingerless, everybody drives with a fingerless glove, right? You can't drive without it. It's required. All CR England trainers have one. Never sleep at a weigh station. You deserve an inspection. Look, some states are pretty good about it, Trucker Hershey says cell phone holders. I need to write to them. So automated truck will be on the road in winter. Can you imagine that on the Donner Pass? The automated trucks will start as they are now Texas to Arizona or whatever they're starting. One truck doing one route. That's how they'll start in the South. It'll expand through the whole South. Oh my gosh. Before it comes north, how many years? Decades. is that going to be? We'll all be long dead by then. Sierra England claims their 30 million plus lawsuit settlement as a driver pay increase. Oh, really? With billboards along I-15. Oh, so they're using the settlement from not paying people properly and saying, here's our pay increase. Don't want your kid or whatever to take up trucking, have them work at Western. Yes. It's some of the lowest pay I've ever seen. I mean, 26 cents on the West Coast for Western is crazy. What's up, Mark, playing around in California? Oh, at least you got better weather than me. Now, those scales would bother me the most, probably. California, as usual, doing the June 4th to 6th inspection. I think that would bother me more than any. Are there any good local jobs in Texas? What do people think about that? You haven't been a truck driver, and it's hard to get in a company that you have experience with. What about Sierra England? You have to start somewhere. Well, you do have to start somewhere. Let's see what people think about Sierra England. It's the free level to pilot inspection, a good idea. Yeah, right. If you can get a free inspection at the truck stops, which I should mention more, right? Pilot Flying J is given free inspections before this DOT inspection. I guess through today or tomorrow. Yeah, go get a free inspection if you got the time. It certainly couldn't hurt. It couldn't hurt anything. CFI is 65. That's most company trucks, 65 to 70. Nobody's really going 85 in a company truck. I mean, I can't imagine any company letting a truck run 85. It's been a long time since I had a company truck that would go that fast. And I think maybe only one truck really went that fast. How is the high turnover companies are claiming a shortage of drivers? But the decent paying companies don't have any vacancies until someone retires. Yes. I was just looking at Old Dominion again. Today, they have no openings in Indianapolis for drivers. So they don't need anybody. And some companies can't get enough drivers. It's their own fault. When we have KLLM here as this driver, which I feel bad for him, he's been sitting all for 5 hours and has gotten $20. Okay, then they are claiming, oh, there's a driver shortage. No, nobody's going to stay working there. As soon as they don't have to, as soon as they're not an indentured servant there, they're going to leave. That kind of stuff is crazy making. West Virginia DOT are setting up temporary stations. Oh, okay, in the travel centers on I-77. Yeah, so they're getting ready for you. What do you think about those blanks that park in no parking spots at truck stops? Lazy, rude blanks. What a pain in the blank. I have a blank comment on that. I can't drive at night or overnight. You get tired no matter how much sleep you get. So night driving isn't for everybody. After you do it for a while, you do get better at it. But I maintain the schedule on the weekends as well. So I don't switch back and forth. I maintain that schedule 7 days a week. DOT regulations say that you must wear the fingerless gloves. That's why I don't understand why people don't have them on. Why aren't you wearing your fingerless gloves? I mean, it's required to drive with those gloves on. How many hours can a driver drive safely? More than 11? It depends on the driver. Everybody's different. Some people could not do it, and some people could drive a lot more than that. You've been driving for 7.5 years and have never had a full inspection. You've only been weighed. Well, you've gotten pretty lucky at it, really. Maybe you're probably driving a decent truck at a okay company where all the stickers are on there, and you don't look all scared. When you go in the scale, you don't look straight ahead, right? Never look over there. Never look at them, right? Company trucks govern their speed limit and get breaks on insurance. Yeah, and they save on fuel. I mean, look, going 85, let's be honest. You're not getting any 9 miles at a gallon going 85. Been inspected twice on rural roads. Can the DOT shut you down for a dash light being on for ABS? I don't know if that's an out of service. I'd have to look up the exact out of service violations. What is the DOT looking for this year? They're looking for steering and suspension problems and wipers, which I saw in there, which I thought was interesting. So wipers, you have to have windshield washer fluid, and it has to work, and your wipers have to work. So how often is the DOT blitz? This is a yearly summer blitz that they do. Sometimes they'll have other brake blitzes and stuff. This is only a couple days. Company bills customers $60 an hour for detention, and you get 72% of that. That's very nice. And that's more reasonable, so you're getting decent money. Zelle is just loading now. That's ridiculous. I mean, you've wasted your whole day there, basically. What do they say about that at the home base? Do I think the corporate side of companies are reasons why they can't keep drivers? Yeah, they forget about, that people need to be paid money to actually be at work. You're gone the whole week. At this driver, KLLM, you're usually not home every day. And then you give somebody $20. It's already almost 3 in the afternoon. Who's going to stay for that? Why do people forget that up in higher ups. Nobody's going to stay. Nobody is going to do that for any length of time. Here, we're almost close to a contract end, so yeah, stay 30 days, absolutely, for that. But, I mean, holy mackerel. After that, no way. If you govern the trucks, they are safer. Ask Swift. Look, Swift is not nearly the slowest truck on the road. Not nearly. That is prime. 57 on their company trucks is what they want you to go. The watchful, the fingerless gloves, those are required. If you didn't know that, that's a DOT requirement. These are autonomous trucks going to be driving the same roads as all these four-wheelers? Yes. The four-wheelers will be autonomous too, right? Like Teslas. That sounds like an accident waiting to happen. It is so many years away that we can't even imagine it. They're putting it out there like to try to scare drivers. Oh my gosh, don't even worry about it. A former company you drove for in 13 to 17 had 75-mile trucks. That's fast. And the older ones were unrestricted. And you hauled extremely flammable gas. Not just flammable, but extremely flammable. Even you admit that's fast for a company truck. And I'm thinking back, Coast Dispatch, where I used to work, they had they were the one place that I think would go more than 80 miles an hour that I've had in a company truck. That's it. And everybody else has been under that, and it's 65 now for many years. Yes, the blank. I kind of figured what that was exactly. Do I drive with fingerless gloves? Of course, it's required by the DOT, so of course you have to. Inspected twice at rural Utah stations. Very few trucks, so your chances of getting inspected are higher. If you're at a rural place, there's going to be less, and so they're like, let's go get this done. Oh, and with the fingerless gloves, also you have to vape. So your cab must be full of vape smoke. Well, Bill, as a motorcyclist, you have fingerless gloves, black leather, of course, naturally for fights. Thank you for having a channel without drama and helping people. Thanks, Cody, for saying that. I appreciate it. This remains drama-free here on this channel. We're talking about trucking companies here, not individual people. You keep your finger. They're doing so bad to drivers. Some companies hose thousands of drivers a year. Let's get that out there. You keep your fingerless gloves with your sweatpants and flip-flops under your seat. Exactly. I mean, these all go together. You can buy them at truck stops. They're all hanging on one hanger. So they have ripped and dirty sweatpants, a filthy wife beater, white tank top, and the fingerless gloves with a vape pen are all right on one hanger as just a combo. You get a combo right there. They'll let you use your points, and bingo, you're a driver. They give you a CR England. I passed my forklift test and official CR England trainer card. All goes together with all that. He doesn't get an inspection because he uses Jedi mind tricks. They're not the droids you're looking for. I don't know how he's done that. Look, I've been inspected a few times too. How somebody goes that without being inspected, that's, luck of the draw, certainly. You get the benefit of more and more trucks on the road, so you just don't get inspected. Okay, see you later. Got to check in. Ready transport. All right, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. The only driver going 85 into semi is Billy Big Rigger, P379, and he's going broke. At 85 in that truck, he's like 4 miles to the gallon. You drive a dump truck because you get tired of being cheated by your over-the-road company. Pay by the hour is better. It is, and I think all drivers should get paid by the hour. And thank you for being a fan. I appreciate it. I think people like you that get paid by the hour, what if all the drivers got paid by the hour? Wouldn't that be great? That's the solution to all the logging problems, speeding, everything. Money and home time are the issue to a lot of companies. I cannot tell you the number of emails I get from people that had home time scheduled and they're not home. They're only getting $400 a week. It's crazy. It's crazy, and it's always the same. Like, oh, already know who this company is. It's always the same companies. Some companies you don't get those letters from, but a lot of them, it's always the same places. It's all these ATA companies. If you own an autonomous truck, you can sleep in the back in the sleeper and pretend that you're a trainer. Oh, you could get paid double. You could get double the money from the autonomous truck and say you're a trainer. You love your company office staff, go to bat. That kind of thing is better than money. If you got somebody that'll solve a problem for you, that's better than giving you $100. Some companies say, well, we'll pay you if we're late getting you home. Just get people home. When you say you'll get them home, they don't want the money. They want to be home. The money isn't the issue. Money is only like the number 3 or 4 reason people quit companies all the time. It isn't money. It's treatment. When drivers are surveyed, that's what they say. Where's Beat 379? He's probably going 85. He's probably in a 1983 Chevy Astro that he saw, or a GMC Astro that he saw driving around. If you don't have your fiberglass gloves, tank top, and flip-flops, you're not a real driver. Exactly. The people here today have some great ideas. People here today this is the best group of drivers, certainly on YouTube, absolutely. Trucking companies can be enough drama in the industry. Yeah, they bring enough themselves. Tank tops, gym shorts, and flip-flops are the industry standard. You thought, yeah, that's why they sell them on one hanger. So, they sell them on one hanger, and that's how you get your permit. They take it immediately in there to go get your all the stuff that you need. Did I hear correctly? Drivers have to wear fingerless gloves while driving. Absolutely. I mean, they sell them at all the truck stops. You see all the best drivers wear them. You've been driving 34 years. You've never heard of the fingerless glove thing? Really? I don't understand it. Those are issued basically now. Got your fingerless gloves and cut off flannel shirt. Oh, that's good too. Yeah, and all men, by the way, and this is generally men, should always be sure to wear sleeveless shirts when they're eating at the buffet. That makes it much more satisfying for everyone there. We see that a lot. Candy, this is the gloved one. Yes, he was half a driver. You only wear fingerless gloves when you're eating roller wieners. You don't want to get the wiener grease on your fingers, that's for sure. Out of curiosity, you stated you've been driving for over 30 years. Yes, this is year 31. You've also said that you're in your early 40s. That is not correct. I stated in my extreme upper 30s. Math was my best subject. However, the math doesn't add here because you probably didn't go to public school. So my public school math, that adds up perfectly for me. Trucking companies, the driveway system is awesome for bypassing scales. Look, I love all these pre-pass driveways. I love it, right? Drive-wise or whatever. And companies should provide it and pay for it. It saves them money too. You get past a lot of scales. Maybe that's how people are passing them up now. All drivers need vapes, fingerless gloves, flip-flops, Sierra England hat. Oh, you got to have that too, right? And a sleeping bag. You need that because you're slip-seating your truck at some of these companies. So you need the sleeping bag. You got to fill it up with the lice powder, in your off time, and bed bug powder. I think the hours assured should only be 12 hours of duty and 12 hours off duty. That'd make more sense, 12 and 12. They tried to do that with 14 and 10, but people don't work, exactly that. It's just a weird way to do it. I would like to see less hours, certainly, which I get a lot of grief for, but how many hours a day do you want to work to make a living? Extreme upper 30s. Yes, exactly, K. Wayne. That's right. 40s, don't age me. Luke governed at 68. That's not bad for a company truck today. Would I like to see people go to speed limit? Yes, but it's just not going to happen. 40s. Did I have a birthday? No. I don't know where people are getting that from. Only Billy Big Rigger wears fingerless gloves. Oh, for the shifter, that's way up here that he's shifting. Autonomous trucks are going to be scaring the four-wheelers. Oh, yeah. Joe Simpleton. I love that. Driving past a truck with no driver. No, it's his wife, Edna Simpleton. That's going to be the problem. She's not going to like that. She's going to be in that Buick, see that truck go by. That is what's going to be the problem. Trucking is also running an iPhone here, all right, on our earlier poll, Android, Apple, Blackberry, or Windows phone. Don't forget about the brake mechanic certification. Right, that's right. I thought it was, for some reason I was thinking forklift. It's brake mechanic certification. That comes with all that stuff too. What is the reason the DOT gives for wearing fingerless gloves? That's so that you can be identified, you in a crowd versus a crowd of just Joe Simpleton drivers. And then truck drivers, they can look at you and go, oh, that person is a truck driver. You can be easily identified. $250 a week and home once a month, high turnover. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? The problem, the people will schedule home time and then they're not home. And the company's like, we'll give you $100. It isn't the money. Companies think like then they're ready to give money, but that isn't the problem on that. People are out here to make money, and then on their home time, they want to be home, not make extra money, okay? You can only be gone so long. It's the home time, and so just send people home. Are there any companies that pay better than Walmart in the Northwest Indiana region? I don't know about Northwest Indiana. You can get hired on here at ShipX, certainly, who hires 48 states and do $2,000 a week, yes, and with free health insurance. So, yeah, they're higher through most of the company, yeah. And there are other companies that come to the same type of money that Walmart pays. I will tell you, I don't work that much here, but we have local drivers here making $80,000 that are home every day. at my company in an assigned day cab. So, yeah. Remember, the FMCSA is taking public comment on autonomous vehicles? Yes, and under 21. I did the under 21 video. They are taking autonomous vehicle comments because they want to fast track it. The thing is about fast tracking, there's just no technology for it. I mean, they're going to put these trucks on the road, but they're going to be like this one in Florida. It stopped. If you saw that a few weeks ago, it wouldn't get going. They filmed it for an hour, and eventually they had to take it off the road. They are a long way from figuring any of this out. Only if you wear gloves while driving, they must be fingerless. You must wear gloves. These fingerless gloves have to be worn anytime that you're either driving or on duty. It's required, part of DOT requirements. We all know that. I mean, we all can see that from new trainers especially. Do I think 23 an hour plus overtime after 40 double on holidays? That's nice. Monday through Saturday, home every day. That's not bad. I mean, should you stay there? I don't know. I don't know if you should stay there. You know, do you think you should stay there? I mean, it's kind of like that. The company's got to be okay for you. You know, you got to like working there. I think that's more important than anything. If you hate your job every day, there's no point in being there no matter what it pays. What's the point of hating your job because you're getting money? Is that a trade-off? And then you die when you're 50 because you have a heart attack from being stressed every single day of your life. That's never worth it. Not to me. Not to me. But that's not bad pay, especially if you're getting a few hours past 40, getting all this time. I mean, that's pretty good pay. Did I see I have competition now? Yikes. The Canadian from Smart Trucking has his own live feed. I did. I've been a subscriber to Smart Trucking, and I like that channel, okay? He's got a lot of good information out there. He is doing some live shows, and that's great. I mean, that is a great channel, and so I think more people like that should be out there. But, yeah, I saw that he did a few live feeds. Yep. You also have to wear fingerless gloves during your sleep apnea test? Yes, because that's part of a DOT physical. It's being required by our company, so absolutely. They have sleep ones that are padded. When can we get more Doing It Better vids? There was one that came out yesterday. 31 years, it's still so long. Isn't it something? It's really trucking. It keeps you young. Rail versus Schneider. Well, I don't like Schneider for their household goods miles. That really bothers me a lot. Getting really hosed on the miles, and the sleep apnea thing is a problem too. But household goods, not great. But there are Schneider, as I found out here, there are some Schneider accounts that you can get on right away without waiting that are paying a really high dedicated amount. So you're going to have to call them in your area and say, what is everything I can do right here, right where I live, because they have all this other kind of stuff. Last week I mentioned I had a birthday coming up. I do have a birthday coming up this month. Isn't that exciting? I honestly think that on the 12th, on 12 and 12, off would solve the parking issue. I don't know about that. We need to end the 30-minute break. That'll help parking. 12 and 12, I think 12 off, people are really going to gripe about that. I mean, if you had to take 12 solid off where you couldn't work, oh my gosh. When it went from 8 to 10, oh my gosh, people had a heart attack about that. It used to be 8. For people that have been driving for a while, remember that? It used to be 8 hours off. It went to 10, oh my gosh, people had a heart attack. I got inspected in Kentucky a couple weeks ago. Got the sticker. Yeah, always get the sticker if you pass a full inspection. Tell them to sticker your truck. Could this get me out of inspection? Yes, it's supposed to be 90 days. That sticker is 90 days. You're not supposed to have an inspection for 90 days. That's why they give it to you. So, yeah, it should. I'd say, look, I just got inspected. What are we going to do about this? You drive a W900 Kenworth glider with a cat. Oh, that's pretty awesome. You don't see too many of those out. Tina, we're trying to get out this glove information. This is exactly the petri dish that are giving truck drivers a bad name. There must be some dating website for Billy Bob tights. Yes. Truckerfarmersonly.com. My Freightliner Automatic has an extended paddle. Why is that? Fingerless gloves and yellow tint glasses. Oh, yeah, blue blockers especially. Have I put into any thought into doing another Prime video? Yes, I'm going to be doing this summer. I have some time off coming up from work, and as usual every summer, and I'm going to redo a lot of the large company videos because they have updated their companies basically in the last year since their videos came out. So a lot of these large companies will get a new updated 2019 video. If it's maintained well, it's a great, yeah, look, absolutely. I'm in for that. That'd be fun. With that cat in it, that'd be really unusual. Open that up at the Open it up at the fuel line. Of course, drivers won't know what it is. Before I became a trucker, I worked in a warehouse. Driver came in with fluffy slippers on. Oh, don't tell me they were bunny slippers. You're having a problem with your autonomous truck now passing the DOT physical. The truck can't pass the physical either. Can't wait for a driver's truck to get pulled in for inspection. Who does the pre-trip? Well, I know they talked about that the truck will be at a lot. So there'll be local drivers that bring the trailer to the truck in a lot. And then at this lot, drivers will pre-trip that truck and certify it or whatever. And then the truck will take the load and continue. Now, it won't need to do a post-trip until it gets where it's going because it won't stop. It will continue to drive. So at the end, there'll be a driver at the other end doing that. But remember, the person doing that amount, they'll probably have the local driver do it. But if they hired somebody to do it, they don't have to pay them much. You don't need a CDL to do the inspection. So that's exactly how that is going to work. So they did talk about that, and there'll be people doing that. Never missed home time in 2 years. Proud to drive for the company. See, that matters. That they do that kind of stuff. Would you rather miss your home time and make $10,000 more somewhere? I wouldn't. It's not worth it. That kind of stuff is great that a company does that. Nobody cares about your cat unless it's an animal. Oh, she's not out here again as usual. Autonomous trucks will need someone to constantly clean the sensors. Yes, but look, cars have these. Volvo and that has sensor cleaners on their cars already, so they have a sprayer. There's no reason a truck can't have sprayers for the sensors. Do I work for ShipX? No. I've written to them a few times, and I like the place, and they have really good pay. They're my kind of place. So I do not work for them, but I do like the place. Prime with all the stickers. Yeah, I'm having problems with your truck passing the physical. You're in a dump truck at home every day. You made 75 last year. Exactly. So is Walmart worth another 10 grand and be gone and slip seat and all that? For me, no. I don't think it is. People stay there and love it. But for the kind of garbage that they have to put up with there, no way. Before you became a trucker, you worked in a warehouse. I love the fluffy slippers. Tell me they were bunny slippers. Plus $1,000 for X message. Yes. Smart Trucking ABP says they're a good channel. Yeah, I agree. Look, I like the channel. I like they put out good trucking information. There's no drama over there either. They're giving trucking information, and that guy's been driving longer than me. Okay, that guy's been 40 years or 35 years or something. He's been driving a long time. It's a real driver that drives a truck for many, many years. Love it. One of the first channels that I subscribe to. I have a car that parks itself. We too, as well. The sensors are constantly covered in mud. Where do you drive it? Can only imagine autonomous trucks. Our Escape also parks itself. That's what the wife drives. So I can hit the button and drive along, and it'll say this parking spot's big enough or it isn't. And then it moves the steering wheel and parks itself. And it has sensors all around it. Now, I keep her car really clean. So it is always clean for her. But I agree, in the wintertime, the sensors get covered with snow and ice, and then there's a button to turn them off. So the proximity sensors and blind spot, all that is a problem. Just in the winter. A semi, same problem. They could heat them. There's no reason they couldn't be heated in a semi for the winter. But it's a real problem. Look at that front radar. All of you that have that radar. Does it work in a thunderstorm? No. It starts thunderstorming. Sorry, no radar. So it turns your cruise off. Hal's stomach hurts from laughing. You were Crocs. Holy moly. Are they fluffy Crocs? How come the European guys wear jogging suits? That's what they wear. In Chicagoland, always have a Volvo offering $700 a week, and they're $10.99 too, right? Are these guys legit? They're legit people from Europe. Chicago, for some reason, is a bastion of $10.99-ness. If you go to a company and the guy's name is some kind of Zebedovich and he's in a Adidas suit, okay, that's a $10.99 job for sure. Okay, it just is. That's how it is over there, for sure. Don't take a $10.99 job. The guy from Smart Trucking recommends you buy a P379 or a W900 for the over-the-road work. I don't think, what do you think about that, Cassius King? I don't think you get the great fuel mileage in that, and that is a huge expense. So, I'm not an owner-operator, but I got to believe that keeping your expenses down is probably a good plan. So if you could get a Cascadia that did the same kind of work and cost you less money, it seems like that's a better idea. That's just what I think. But you own a truck, so what do you think? You'd be more likely to say that. CFI sent you a $10 pilot card on your birthday. Why did they do that? I will get an email that is several weeks late that talks about it. Smart trucking information. Guy gives good information. I agree. I definitely love what I do and the people you work for. Yeah, that's half of it, right? That's more than half of it. Money, a lot of places pay money, but getting a place that you like to work, nobody wants to be stressed every day. You'd like the 12 and 12. It takes you a while to fall asleep, and it would give you time to eat, shower, and relax. Well, most drivers, not most, a lot of drivers don't shower. And when it went from 8 to 10, there was a huge outcry. So going to 12 hours off, oh my gosh, people's heads are going to explode. And that would be bad in an England truck. Michael Jackson could have been half a driver. He can only drive and turn one way. Buy the truck that gets the worst fuel mileage. Who cares about the number one cost? Exactly. I mean, who wants to buy a long nose truck if you're buying the fuel for it? I mean, I don't know. I don't own a truck. Maybe I don't understand how that works. Most of the YouTube truckers claim to know it all about trucking, but each has had 5 jobs in 10 months. Some of them changed jobs, and some rightly so. Like we have this driver here from KLLM. He absolutely needs to change jobs. That's a legit job change. I mean, because somebody changes jobs, remember, that doesn't mean it's not legitimate. It takes a while to find a good place. Is dispatch going to mess with the autonomous truck when they don't make an appointment? They'll text the truck and then fire it. You're about to jump to 50 cents a prime. Nice. Oh, in the small truck. You get a nickel at prime for running a lightweight truck. Just hope it's worth it. Well, all your loads will be heavy. But nickel, I mean, it's $5,000 over a year or more, right? Instead of extended, a stick is an extended paddle. Oh, 2014 Pete 6 NZ tanker. Yikes. But do you own the truck? Right. Keto, walk, get fit. Bye for now. Have a great day. Where's your blue blockers and knuckle gloves? Well, they come all together in that pack at the Loves, hanging on that hanger. They're behind the masks. I saw the masks in there and the helmets and the chainmail. So have a great day, and thanks for coming in. So is trucking going to die, Mark? Oh, that'd be insane. No way. Holy moly. Everybody needs everything. They still got to eat, and they still need toilet paper. So no matter what happens to the economy, everybody still has to eat. And even if the whole country was on food stamps, people still got to buy food. So all that needs to get moved around. Keep a clean record. You'll always have a job. I don't get the candy. I don't get the sleep test requiring you to wear fingerless gloves. Why not require a full coverage helmet? Maybe the Loves is in on that, and they could, because you can buy one at the Loves. So I think the gloves help you sleep. You get the sleep padded ones. Nasty 6-year-old safety vest. I'm surprised that they don't make you wear. In defense of fingerless gloves, they do help you grip the wheel, and also they're good when your hands are sweaty. And you look like a driver. The smart trucking guy admitted to driving without shoes. I don't know about that. Okay, well, maybe he did. If the self-driving trucks break up and end up crashing and killing someone, how much blame goes to the guy that did the pre-trip? Oh, all of it. You know they're going to, that guy didn't catch this. You know that's going to happen. It's official. Start to flip-flops and Crocs. Yes. That's crazy. Who's wearing Crocs out there? I mean, are you really wearing Crocs? The drivers wearing Crocs? Would you slip seat with a convicted felon who feels so indebted to the company that they will drive anything? Well, I don't know that being a felon is the problem. What are we up against out here that they've loosened their hiring requirements? Well, look, I'm not going to just say felons. Some people are trying to change their life. Okay, let's give them that, really. And felons need to work just like everybody else. So just because somebody's not a felon doesn't mean they won't get up and slit your throat too. Remember that. Or that felon might be a great driver, and you go, well, I don't want to be with him. And so they give you somebody that doesn't care about driving or anything. I mean, no way. So I don't think being the felon is the problem with it, really. Dave's a driver. Yeah, it's smart trucking. Right, Dave. Did Pam, I don't know who it is, by the way. I say that like we're friends or something. Did Pam drivers receive a pay increase? I mean, I'd never met him. In recent years, they would have to. The new ad says 60 instead of 40. Yeah, if you've been there for a while, you can get 60. I worked there 3.5 years, and they have good equipment and good dedicated lanes. They're not a great place. Okay, Pam is a bottom feeder in the industry. You back in every driving spot, it's easy to get out. Yeah, you do, don't you? But don't you love when people pull in too? I'm going to pull in this spot and be sticking way out. Brian lived 47 years in New York before he moved to Ohio. Fingerless gloves with your accent. No hiding being a Yankee now. Yes. You're not getting out of it. Your biggest complaint with Pam was the pay. Yes. But if they gave everyone a raise, they might be worth looking into. A large raise. And stop this stupid driver solutions double-handedness that they do. And they have a YouTube channel, Driver Solutions, and it's not a person, so I talk about them. That's Pam. Oh, this is Driver X for Driver Solutions. No, it's Driver X for Pam. That is Pam. They're trying to get you to Pam, okay? You hate your job. You just want to mention that. You love being over there. But you stay for the money. Ironically, it's enough money to keep you there. Chicago and their international flights. What do I... Yeah, that's how people come in and they go, oh, I'm here now. This is where I'm staying. What do I think about Heartland? Well, what do people think about Heartland now that we're here today? Roger Penske says the Korean Mafia says you wear sandals in yard, you fired. Really? So they have standards? You can still pick your nose with fingerless gloves. There's always benefits to this kind of stuff. Smart trucking guy Dave here said he likes Peterbilts and W900s. I like them too, but I wouldn't buy one. He's a smooth shifter and doesn't run over 60. Well then, but he runs very effectively. All right, if he's running 60, he could run faster, get more work done, and get the same or better fuel mileage in a more efficient truck. That's what I'm saying. Cash is king. Good. I would not recommend getting the big head truck to do over the road. I do disagree with a lot of the things that he says. I think he should change his name to Old School Trucking. Those trucks that he drives, they're old school trucks, and they're not the way that trucking really works today. I don't personally. I would get the most fuel efficient truck I could. I'm running a business. Not looking at a beauty contest with the truck. That's what I think of that. I'm getting in the mid 8s, going 65. So how slow do you have to go in a W900 to get that kind of fuel mileage pulling loads around? The only people that don't care about home time are single guys or people with a nagging wife. That's horrible. You should pick a better wife, right? But look, if you're single, get a company that lets you stay out, like ShipX. That's not for everybody. You need to stay out to make good money there, okay? So, but if you're willing to stay out, that is a $100,000 place. If you can stay out at free insurance and $100,000, not bad. I'm a felon and better driver than most. Yeah, look, because I don't think just because you're a felon doesn't mean I wouldn't team with somebody. How does that prove they're not a good driver? That's the thing of it. Felons think out of work too. My cousin is on child support and had his 4th lease purchase. He's saying freight is slow after the tariff bill. Well, how can a person ever win at a lease purchase? They can't. They're set up for you to lose, as I've said. Now, I've had 2 people now write to me with their information and make more money than a company driver. 2. And I've been doing this almost 2 years now. So that's the second person. You just don't make any money lease purchasing. You're better off being in a company driver at basically the same place you would lease the truck from. You would buy Trucking Answers brand fingerless gloves and bunny Crocs. Oh, I wish I could get those logoed up. Patrick Swayze was a felon in Black Dog. He was an excellent driver. That's it right there. There's your proof right there. Plus, that he could dance his way through the scenes. Who has a better lease program? Nobody. If you were to have half the drivers in the whole U.S. and they were driving 12 hours and the other half, in 12 hours, that's the way to do it. So what you do when you get your license, you have to sign up for days or nights, and it will be seniority based. And so your license is only good from noon to midnight or midnight to noon. Oh, that's interesting. Black Dog, yeah, right. Where'd they get that movie from? W9s are also heavy, so there's another problem. Extra weight is extra fuel. You run a W900 every day for a company and average 4.5. That's pretty horrible. But see, it's a company truck, so you don't care, right, necessarily. And I'm not saying he's wrong or right. I don't want to start anything like that. But I'm saying I would buy the most fuel-efficient truck. Don't buy a poorly efficient truck and go 50 miles an hour, okay? Don't do that. That's unsafe, too. We can't gripe at Prime about it and then say it's okay to do it if you're an owner-operator. It's unsafe. Everybody should be running, the speed limit, really, but as faster as possible. You hate when people say they drive slower in a Big Pete so that it doesn't cost them that much. If they run the same speed in a Freightliner, you get like an extra miles per gallon. Yeah, and it's unsafe. We gripe at Prime about it all the time. Rightly so. We're going 57, 60 miles an hour. It's unsafe. It is. It's no different no matter who's doing it, if it's a Prime trailer or anybody else. Get going. 25% of that take-home goes to quarterly taxes. Yes. The people that wrote to me, though, had enough money that they netted after all their expenses where they actually were making more than a company driver. In a lease by themselves. Right. Always by themselves. Your old trainer was a convicted felon. He did Fed time in Alabama. Oh, nice. But see, still has got a good job in driving, relatively. He probably makes okay at KLM being a trainer. And he needs to work, so I'm not against that. You get an extra nickel at Prime for running Northeast, so you could get a dime running the small truck, which is relatively small, and the Northeast. People say that about Prime, too. It's got a small sleeper, whatever. We used to have a 36-inch sleeper. This is what I started out with on the road, in a T600 and a tiny, tiny coffin sleeper. So that Prime truck, even though it's small, is bigger than the truck I started out with for sure, and many people on this channel. You get 7.2 running 75. See why people say long nose hoods. Normally, they don't get that kind of mileage. Get 7.2 going 75. That's really good. Now you can get close to 10. Some trucks, are cruising in on 10 miles per gallon. Patrick Swayze bouncing the bar at his side job, but he got fired because he didn't log that time as required by law. That's disappointing. Thought ShipX was 60 salary no matter how long you stayed out. Exactly. It is $60,000 salary, including your off time, but the money at ShipX is in the bonuses. So once you get to 15,000 miles a month, you're making $2,000 a week every week. So that's why if you're willing to stay out, you can put 15,000 miles down because they have long, long runs and a lot of drop and hook. That's where the money is at ShipX. Not all felons, not at all. Well, yeah, look, felons got to work too, right? He also saved the country in Red Dawn. He did. The Radiator, classic. What trucking companies are best for no experienced truck driver starting out? All right, let's get that out here, right? And you already have a license. Pete 379 is living the dream. Look, just look at the shows, see all the beauty. Look, they're nice. I give you that. I would rather have the Kenworth on that than a Pete. The Pete cab is just too small. You don't suggest people get into teen driving if they wanted to go solo after they're done. Team driving really screws you up, and a lot have had to learn a lot. I don't like the team driving a lot. What the watchful what? It's all in the specs. If you have a truck spec to run flatlands, you're running in the mountains, you're not getting good fuel mods. Yeah, when you own the truck, it has to be spec for what you're going to do with it. He likes Pete's because of Packard parts. Okay, yeah, and many repair shops. See, that's an owner-operator perspective that I don't have, because when I have a truck problem as a company driver, I park it there and say, let me know when it's fixed. So it's up to them to figure out how to fix the thing. So, that's the difference of the two of those. You mentioned before your truck goes 2100 before shifting. Yeah, it skips gears, but it does go 2100 on some gears, and it skips 2-3 gears. It does. I think it's crazy. Okay, and I would never let it do that, but that's their truck, and that's their truck. That's how they've it set up. That's okay with me, I guess. What happens when a computer tacker taps into an autonomous truck? It crashes, kills everybody. Same as they did with Jeep a few years ago, proved it could be done. What if England had 3 drivers in the coffin sleeper? Oh, that would have been something, wouldn't it? That thing, 36 inches, so small. Sit-in sleeper, you can't stand up. Couldn't stand up in the whole truck. Everybody remembers that's been driving for any length of time. We need drivers who aren't afraid to stand up to companies, who want to skimp on equipment. Felons tend to not make waves. That's true, because they know that's a problem. But look, a lot of new people don't want to make waves because they just started at a place or whatever. And I get that, right? They don't want to say anything because they're afraid they're going to lose their job and not get another job. That's correct. So places like OIDA and other places should stand up and say, hey, you can't do this to new people. It isn't right to not pay people like this driver who's sitting making $20 when there's a kid at McDonald's right now that made more than him. That's crazy. That's crazy, and that shouldn't happen. Is Prime running all automatic trucks? I think they still have sticks, but most of their new trucks are coming in their automatics. Where can you find a Freightliner cab over from Terminator? Wow. You'll have to talk to Peterbilt 379. He has them down in Georgia. What's with the Patrick Swayze? Long live the rubber duck. We all love Patrick Swayze. If drivers can try getting into car hauling, get a percentage of the load. I'm not a fan of percentage. People have sent me a few car hauling things this week that I'm looking into. And look, if you want to haul cars, that's another thing to do in the industry, right? It can pay really good. Swayze was the son of the rubber duck, really? We need a new truck or movie. Yeah, let's get that. Let's get that crowdfunded. Royal Purple Peterbilt. It is nice. I parked a truck for serious issues only to watch them send it right back out with a driver who feels indebted to the company. I agree. I've done the same thing. I'm not taking that, and 10 minutes later it dries out. There's little you can do about it. And that's companies that don't care. That company just does not care. You got to either quit or turn them into the DOT or whatever. But yeah, I agree with you. It's companies that want to make money over safety. Call the police, maybe anonymously. 36-inch sleeper is so small you have to get out just to change your mind. Yes, you remember those. That was the sleeper, then, and that was a sleeper truck. Couldn't stand up. The roof in the cab was right at your head too. No standing up. Red Ball Express in 2019. Safety green gloves. Oh, I wonder if they have safety gloves. I bet they do. Safety colored gloves. Your Pete 379 Ultra Loss has lots of room. The new ones are bigger than they used to be. You used to be able to reach across in a 379 and roll down the passenger window from your driver's seat. Mad Maldy speaks out for sure. You don't give a flip, but then it has to be a real issue. It shouldn't just be minor stuff, but you've been driving for a while too. People that started a week ago or whatever, they may feel like they can't do that. Black Dog is still a solid trucker movie. No need for a new one. Only trucks of prime I see that are manuals are guys who actually are owner-operators. Even have some long noses. Yeah, they don't have many. I'm saying they don't have many. Left my company because they put driver cams in the truck. That's disappointing. Got a new job hauling fuel, twice the pay. So it worked out. Fuel hauling isn't as bad as people think. Who thinks that it's bad? Do people think fuel hauling is bad? I don't know about that. That was a quick Blue Parrot break. How about that? As we get ready to end the show. Why do people think fuel hauling is bad? It pays really good. Does the 579 have a Cummins? Oh, yes. Okay, so I went through that. The cell phone thing, don't forget this Max Force get in. If you bought a Max Force engine between 2011 and 2014, you're about to get part of a $159 settlement. So don't forget to get in on that. Roadcheck is coming up tomorrow. June 4th to the 6th. Just have your truck ready like it's ready every single day. Swayze did get a CDL for the role in Black Dog. Oh, good. You know who else? The guy from BJ and the Bear, whose name I can't think of right now. I'm sure somebody's going to put it out there. I met that guy, and I can't think of his name. He was at a Star Trek convention. Anyhow, he has a CDL also. He is a driver and has a CDL and sang the theme song. So that I thought that was interesting since you were talking about trucker kind of stuff, TV shows. Who remembers Maximum Overdrive? Man, the Screaming Jimmies and Can Wet with the green mask was nice. Maximum Overdrive 2020 with Mark. Oh, man, that would be great. Starring as himself, Mark. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, Bill. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. It's people here, right? As we're coming up, I'll announce this, right? We're coming up to 20,000 subscribers. That's you people. The show is not me, right? It's you. And so I already have Blue Parrot on board. They're going to send me a headset to give away. I don't know what kind. I asked for $450. We'll see what I get in the mail. But I'm trying to get other stuff as well. There'll be big giveaways, and I will announce that certainly here. And Blue Parrot wants that, and now Blue Parrot is actually going to announce it on their channels as well. So we should have tons of people for it. It's going to be a great show. Claude Atkins was moving on. Yeah, what this BJ and the Greg Evigan. There it is. I got it before it popped up. Great. Greg Evigan, that guy from BJ and the Bear, he also has a CDL. He got a CDL for that and has kept it because I met him not that long ago at a Star Trek convention. It's been a number of years. But met him at a Star Trek convention and he talked to him. He's a nice guy and he kept his CDL all these years. A guy refurbished the BJ and the Bear cab over. Really, that Aerodyne? I think it was an Aerodyne, right? Oh, I would love to see that. Yeah. Oh, there now Greg Evigan is coming up, right? That guy, he sang the theme song, and he kept his CDL all these years. He said it was active when I talked to him. So, very nice guy. If you have never met him, I don't know if you'd meet him, but unless you go to Star Trek conventions, I don't know. That's where I met the guy. But that's what we're doing for the 20,000 subscriber show. If you know of your company or somewhere that might want to have some giveaways, give them my information and say, hey, this guy, I'll get their name on here, and but it's got to be something to give away to people on the show. I don't want anything from them. I want stuff to give away. So that's, and then we'll put their name up there, and that's how we'll get it going on that stuff. Patrick Swayze's a fake. He never shifted a gear. I don't know the background on his CDL. I'll have to get that show date off. Yeah, you need to be in on that show because we're for sure giving away to Blue Parrot. They already said yeah. So that's going to be probably in July. That's the way that the numbers look at the moment. We'll see how it goes, of course. And I wouldn't have it like on a holiday or anything. And it'll be on a regular show date. So I'm not going to make a special day where everybody misses it. It would be on the regular show. Edward Sanders, don't spoil it. Don't give out any spoilers on Maximum Overdrive or any of these other shows. For the people that haven't seen it, don't say what the end of Black Dog is. You want the Heartland orientation? They lied to everyone. Well, that's par for the course. That people lie to get you an orientation. Get everything in writing. They told one gentleman he's guaranteed to have a hazmat lane, which wasn't true. Everything, when you talk to a recruiter, say, okay, now that we're done talking, send all that to me in writing. In writing. No matter what company it is, how great it is or whatever, get it in writing. Jimmy Weeks, okay, great, thanks, and I hope to see you on that show. Let's get a call-in set up for the next show or one after, looking forward to it. Yeah, we'll see what we can do about that. We'll keep it between the lines without scrubbing gears. No scrubbing gears anymore, right? Did I ask CFI for giveaways? I didn't think about it, but I should write to them. If you're a wild driver, don't do fuel or hazmat. Be careful on that stuff. ABP, thank you very much. Looking good like I always do. I appreciate that. Heartland lied to you about your favorite, and they lied to the other gentleman. Yeah, that's you declined it, but they probably put you down that you worked there for a day. So that's disappointing. Always, wait a minute. James Faust, I think, has poked in here with something. I think there's a problem with your keyboard. Heartland is a horrible company. Well, that's a one experience, but I agree. That's lying is rampant. I gave that texting story to Little Dog. Yeah, send it over there, right, or whatever. It's in the have them look it up, and you can read that out. Fingerless gloves. There might be fingerless gloves as a giveaway. That is for sure, right. But 331, and of course I have to go make my company some money as everybody else does out here. Thanks for being here, everybody, today. It's been a lot of fun today. If you got anybody that wants to give stuff away, hey, let them bring it over here, and we'll give some stuff away on that show. Otherwise, be careful out there, everybody, as every week. Let me know how the inspections go. If anybody gets inspected, I want to know about it. I think it'll be great to show that out there. And I'm going to head on out and make the company some money. So thanks for being here. We'll see you next week, of course, on the live show. And more videos coming this week. Never know who. I'll see you in the next one.